Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Express Lane, the show that brings you speedruns in 60 minutes or less. I'm your host, Oscar424, with occasional guest appearances by my corgi ho-hosts who are sleeping so adorably just off camera, Galahad and Freya. Also, quick side note, can we get a trans rights in chat? Because happy Trans Day of Visibility, everyone! To celebrate looking at our absolute banger schedule, we have got 3 super cool Metroidvanias that y'all are going to absolutely love. So look at here, we are going to end tonight with Supraland. In the middle, we have Blue Fire. And right now, y'all saw this awesome runner at Back to Black 2026. Well, he did such an amazing job. We're going to have him back. It is K-Drive running Bloodstained Ritual of the Night with a built-in STS randomizer. Hello, friend, and tell me, what exactly is a built-in STS randomizer?
Yeah, hey Oscar, thanks so much. Yeah, what's up, everybody? As Oscar mentioned, I'm K-Drive. I'm here tonight running Bloodstained Ritual of the Night's built-in STS rando. STS means same type shuffle, but same type shuffle might not have clarified that any, so we'll go over what that means over the course of the run. But just know that having a built-in randomizer in a modern Metroidvania is definitely a rarity. The settings that we're using here are specific in a way that actually allows for lots of runs to be completable. However, even with these settings, unfortunately, there's still a number of runs that can't be completed, so we're going to be running on a pre-vetted seed today, and hopefully it'll be a good showcase for you guys. I'm not going to be doing this run alone. I've got the wonderful Miriam, who's standing here, nice and ready. So I'll give a countdown from 5, and we'll launch Miriam to the seed. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you so much. And before we hold right for just the beginning of the seed, I'm going to get on some DLC gear that will help us get through the beginning faster. And we got our first key item check here, Warhorse's Key. Okay, not the best thing, but on we go. So this is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night's built-in STS rando. Basically, all it is a means of randomizing the game with every single point of randomization being shuffled amongst its same category. So, for example, accessories get shuffled amongst each other, shards of the same color type get shuffled amongst each other, equipment chests gets shuffled amongst each other, even key items get shuffled amongst each other. And something that we'll be looking for as quickly as possible, in fact, 2 things, are the 2 components to go mode, which are Dimension Shift and Zangetsuto. Dimension Shift is a purple shard, which can drop from any enemy that would normally drop a purple shard in the game, because in this STS randomizer, it shuffled amongst any enemy that can drop a purple shard. And Zangetsuto will be able to find that from a key item chest. And here we got our first purple shard check that drops with 100% success rate, and it's 8-bit fireball. So not the greatest purple shard, but hopefully we do manage to find what we're looking for over the course of the seed. So just to give an idea for those of you unfamiliar with just Bloodstained Ritual of the Night in general, this is Igarashi, the legendary Koji Igarashi's latest work. He's the same man behind games like Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, which is another game I also speedrun. This game has a lot of inspirations from the latter games I mentioned, but this game also kind of takes the RPG mechanics to the next level, even beyond the scope that some of the previous works that he did were able to take it. So hopefully you guys will have a chance to see the RPG strength and the mechanics show in full force over the course of the seed. I'm going to take a safety save here because sometimes this game does act a little weird and we don't want anything bad to happen.
Obligatory rando does rando things.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll notice pretty much over the course of this 2 minutes that we've played the seed so far, I've been backwards hopping. This is the trademark Igarashi fast horizontal movement, which, he can't help it but to make the horizontal movement be through moving backwards. So in this game, the backdash canceling is performed by doing a backdash, canceling in a crouch, and performing that ad nauseum. It's actually a lot easier to do than some of the previous works, such as in Soten, you do it with shield dashing, and in Aria, you do it with backdash sliding and canceling that into a short hop and turning around at the same time. I'd much prefer just the backwards hopping, personally.
Real talk, I like watching anybody that plays a Metroidvania, any of them. I don't know how your hands survive. I'm so impressed every time I see this.
Yeah, it definitely takes a little bit of getting used to, and Aria of Sorrow is still a game that I've kind of broken my hands over with the movement, but this game is a lot more relaxing somehow, so we'll take it. We're going to take a quick safety save before the first boss, known as Vepar. This boss drops a red shard. Red shards are not vital to the run, but sometimes can be useful. And if we manage to find one of the accessories in the game that completely breaks combat apart, basically that will make every single shard we find potentially useful. So even something as a measly red shard can be useful when we find Jeebel's glasses. And I'll talk about Jeebel's glasses more in a second. But the idea for this boss, you just hit it over and over. Hitting the head does slightly more damage. We've got Supraland as the shard drop, which is not terrible, but it's not going to be as useful for the late game bosses, which is really what we're hoping for something when we're looking for any red shard. We're looking for something that's going to help us with the end game bosses. Unfortunately, Supraland kind of falls off for that. So yeah, now we're in the village, the hub town of sorts. We got the side quest NPC here, and we've got the crafting NPC. He has a key item check, so it's very important to make sure to speak to him. Plunder's Ring is craftable. I actually think I'm going to get that. Let me just make sure there's no crazy weapon that I prefer. So the crafting shop, the recipes are technically not randomized, but the result you get from the recipe is what is randomized. And usually they try to balance it out for STS in terms of the categories that the resulting items from the recipes belong to, so that you don't get completely destroyed by not having things that you might need in a seed. And then here's the normal shop. We're just going to sell all of our shards right now. We don't need any of them. And then we're going to see mainly if we have waystones. Excellent, we do. So waystones are consumable fast travel that will take us straight to the hub town from anywhere. And then we purchased as well a potato seed, which can be used for crafting some healing if we manage to find some other components later on.
Now, I saw something in chat that I'm very curious about. They gave you some good luck on the seed, but they also said, here's hoping no car painter seed.
Car painter? Ooh, I'm not even aware of that myself. I imagine that's something undesirable though, so we'll hope for that not to happen as well.
Fair.
Thank you for the good luck though. Yeah, so we're going to do a side quest farm here for opening up the rest of the accessory checks that are available. And it turns out this side quest farm also doubles as helping us out with one of the first purple shard farms. So it's important to get that taken care of. And now that's completed, we can check the rest of these. Okay.
Someone clarified carpenter seed.
Oh, carpenter. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I got it.
The first message was literally car painter, and my brain did not brain for a second there.
I got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Carpenter seeds are dreadful. Hopefully we don't get one. That's basically a seed or situation. Oh, summon insect. Nice. That's a situation where the purple shard that we might look for, in this case Dimension Shift, might be behind Carpenter's Key, which is a key that unlocks a backer room where there's basically an elite enemy encounter that is basically like a boss. And it's a boss that can respawn if you leave the room, but it's as annoying as it might sound because you have to farm that boss for its purple shard still. And it means you have to basically do like a boss fight over and over. Yeah, hopefully we don't get a seed like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got some early chest checks as well performed. Some of the chests that we opened were things such as blue chests. Blue chests have randomized contents, but the randomized contents pull from a certain pool. And I believe the pool is based on the area that you open the blue chest in. In the vanilla game, the pool would be consistent, but in the randomizer, I think the pool is shuffled, and then the contents are based on the pool that you get from that shuffle. So we also opened an accessory check, which didn't have Jeebel's glasses, and we opened a weapon chest, which the best thing you can find from a weapon chest is Valkyrie Sword, which is way better than the weapon we have right now. In fact, it's better than a lot of the weapons that you can find in seeds in general. But the thing with Valkyrie Sword is that by itself, it's still a little tricky to beat the endgame bosses with. You kind of need some healing to supplement it and make it viable. Sorry, not valuable, viable. So hopefully we find some things that help us out with that if we manage to find Valkyrie Sword. While we're in this initial area known as entrance, it's worth talking about some of the early game routing in STS Rando. Basically, when you start off the game, it's similar to starting off the vanilla game, where the only things that are really available to you are the areas up until Craftwork. And Craftwork, if he drops his vanilla blue shard, which is called Craftwork as well, it'll just unlock the bridge that is or not the bridge, the gap where there used to be a bridge. It's a broken bridge, and that would allow you to have access to the Tower of Twin Dragons and Lever Ex Machina. However, if we manage to find something like double jump or high jump at the first white shard check, which I'll point out when we get there, then actually we'll have access to a lot more areas, and it'll allow for our route to be a lot more open. So depending on what we find in that white shard check, it'll determine where the seed will take us from there. I'm actually going to go back and farm that bone mort quickly. I don't think we have it shard right now. Nope. Yeah, that's one way to check whether you have the purple shard for an enemy that you haven't gotten yet, is by checking the archives menu for the particular shard. And it's helpful to know this because sometimes you'll kill the enemy and then leave the room before the shard actually arrives at you, and that'll cause you to actually not obtain the shard. However, it'll still show in the archives menu that the shard was produced, so you can check what shard was produced from that enemy even though you didn't obtain it. And then if it's something that you don't care about, then you can still just proceed onward.
That's nice.
It's definitely a nice quality of life feature. So we got flamethrower from Bone Mort. Flamethrower's not too bad, honestly. Oh, Alcahest. Okay. That's a good drop to know. So Alcahest is very, very strong in randomizer because it allows you to dismantle any item into components or ingredients. And again, the recipes that are tied to the resulting item or gear are random. So you can get something really good from dismantling using the Alcahest. However, it requires a lot of Alcahest usually to dismantle something that's pretty strong. So we'll probably end up harming a little bit the enemy that dropped it. And I believe it was the Plume Parma that dropped it. Let's just give a quick check on that. Yeah, it's the Plume Parma. So we'll keep that in mind for later. The reason to come down to that stretch in general is to farm the high density of shard enemies that are down there for a potential dimension shift. But it's not just dimension shift that we're looking for among the purple shards that we want in the game. There are plenty of purple shards that are also very strong combat options for taking down the endgame bosses. Those being Void Ray, Aqua Stream, and Bald Tyab. All of those are absolute top tiers in this game as far as combat, and even without having mana regen or like some kind of means of having more mana, those purple shards are very capable of getting past the endgame bosses. So if we manage to find one drop from an enemy, ooh, okay, not quite. We got Tornado Slicer, which is not what we're looking for, but it's still good info because we don't have to farm the Blood Grinder Knight later on. So yeah, we're gonna be killing those more of these kinds of enemies along the way to Craftwork, as mentioned before. But before we reach Craftwork, there's going to be a boss coming up known as Zangetsu. Ooh, Summon Hellhound is pretty good. Summon Hellhound is one of the better red shards for damage. However, the problem with it is that it costs way too much mana. You need a minimum of 200 mana, I believe, to be able to use it. And right now we have only 170. And even if you had enough mana to use it, it's not really like super efficient damage. It's just like a high amount of burst damage you could think of it as. And beyond that, it's something that we would have in our inventory as an option if we manage to find Jeebel's Glasses for infinite mana. Let me just take a quick look at... Okay, yeah, I have that on. So we're going to quickly do a farm of the Barbados here and see if it gives us a purple shard before we fight Zangetsu 1. And yes, I did say 1. But we never want to see 2. We never want to see Zangetsu 2. If the seed comes to that, then we're in huge trouble. But Zangetsu 1 is just a roadblock boss. It's not a boss that actually gives any progression. So it should be really simple to get through.
And for those that might not know, realize how much of a pain Zangetsu 2 is. Explain why we want to avoid Zangetsu 2.
Yeah, it's basically, it's not that the boss is hard per se, it's that the way to get to him is super out of the way. It's like one of the most out of the way spots in the whole map. And also, you have to have a lot of, well, you don't have to have a lot of progression abilities to get there, to be honest, but you do have to have like, you have to have checked a lot of other spots in order to make it like worth checking one of the most out of the way spots in the game. Because in the vanilla game, in order to get the Zangetsu 2, you need to have gotten the Aegis plate and I think, is it Aegis plate and Craftwork, something like that? In a way, oh, Dimension Shift, wow. Okay, that's huge. All right, well, I'm glad we don't have to worry about finding Dimension Shift later on. But yeah, I think you need Aegis plate and Craftwork for it, and then you might need some method of flight. And in the vanilla game, that's a substantial amount of progress necessary to be able to do that. So yeah, basically we don't want to ever see Zangetsu 2. And for those of you wondering what Zangetsu 2 would give, he gives, in the vanilla game, he's actually the one that gives you Zangetsu, which as I mentioned in the beginning, is one of the pieces of Go mode. But in STS Rando, it's very rare for Zangetsu 2 to have Zangetsu. You'll usually have found it well before that. So hopefully this is a case of that in this seed.
Yeah, as soon as I mentioned that, there's a lot of people in chat going, yeah, no Zangetsu 2, please.
Yeah.
Just no.
Indeed. But yeah, we do have dimension shifts, so I'm honestly pretty happy. Like, the next thing we're going to be looking for the remainder of the seed is, well, besides Zangetsu itself, we're going to be looking for just a means of getting through the endgame bosses smoothly. So again, Jeebel's glasses, or, you know, a good amount of healing, or a good amount of mana regen, something like that. So this is Dion Kech Cathedral. It took me a while to learn how to pronounce that. It's something like Irish. But anyway, here's where that white shard check is located. And white shards in this game are progression shards. So it's, again, things like double jump or deep sinker, which allows you to swim, or high jump. Oh, high jump. Okay. Well,
high jump, yep.
That is one of the best things to find there, actually. So we now have proper flight. We actually did have flight already with Dimension Shift. But when I say proper flight, I mean flight without having to rely on having enough mana. The problem with Dimension Shift is that it costs mana for every cast of it, and I can show it right now. It's just a teleport. And it turns out you need Dimension Shift in order to go through the exact last room, and that's the only reason you need Dimension Shift. Before I talk further about that, okay, we didn't find the safety invert here. This is one of the 2 safety checks that exist in SDS. Sometimes there will be a safety invert canister there, and it'll be red. That's how you know it's there. And when I say safety, it's supposed to be a measure that the game takes to avoid soft locks, but it doesn't always spawn when it needs to, so it doesn't end up doing its soft lock protection too well. Unfortunately, we didn't find it in the seed, but it's no big deal because we have high jump already and dimension shift. So, but if we did manage to find invert there, invert would be full flight, and it would also be it actually, interestingly enough, it also fulfills the conditions to be able to swim, because basically you go into the water and then you invert, which flips the whole screen around. And because your head will always, or like your body will always float towards like the surface, the game thinks the surface is like now the bottom of the water, and it'll basically allow you to go quote unquote under the water, which is unintended swimming, but we'll take it.
If it works, it works.
Exactly. So we're getting the warp here. I'm killing this ore dog as we reset these rooms because it is a purple shard enemy as well. But the next stop I'm going to be making before we go to Craftwork is on the way to the other safety check, which is the one for Zangetsu. Zangetsu can be placed in this safety check 2 rooms below. And again, I'm not exactly sure on the methodology behind it being placed, but it's just there sometimes. And if it ends up being there, it can save a whole lot of stress and trouble of having to traverse through where the actual spot of Zangetsu would normally be, which again, in a STS it's shuffled amongst other key item locations. So at the bottom of this room is where the safety check lies. Moment of truth. Ooh, okay, it's not there. If it were there, there would have been a third chest in this room. However, there were only 2 chests. It would have been in the middle right here. So instead we got Valkyrie Tiara, which is actually pretty good. This is a luck boosting item. And luck is really important in randomizer because it improves your item drop rate, which obviously matters for farming. So, all right, and we're going to be making our way to the first boss. I'm killing these gargoyles along the way as well because they're also purple shard enemies. I said first boss, third boss, but first progression boss, potentially.
It counts.
Yeah. So this is Craftwork. Very simple boss. We're going to be using short hops. And I actually haven't talked about short hops yet, or backdash canceling with combat. When you do attacks in the air in this game, and you land in the middle of the animation, it land cancels and allows for you to act again after you land. So that ends up being the fastest method of combat for a lot of weapons, is just to short hop with that weapon. And then backdash canceling in combat basically involves just doing the weapon attack and canceling to a backdash, canceling to the weapon attack again, potentially canceling in the jump, depending on if you have jump actions available still, and then going back into the weapon. Unfortunately, with the whip weapon class, it's not very straightforward to do the backdash canceling in combat, so I just end up doing the short hop instead, and it's much simpler and still gets the job done. So yeah, I'm going to farm the gargoyle here. I technically don't need to do this, but you know, I'm going to be thorough and see if I get lucky with a good purple shard here. But yeah, since we already have dimension shift, I wouldn't, strictly speaking, need to do this.
I saw a comment in chat, imagine finding super speed next.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, so Craftwork, I kind of glossed over, but Craftwork ended up dropping his vanilla shard, Craftwork, which is a grab, and it grabs objects that are grabbable. Oh, okay. Okay, that's awesome. We just found Aqua Stream, folks. This is our logical form of swimming. I say logical, I shouldn't really use that word because there's no logic in built-in randomizer, but basically this was what will allow us to be able to swim without having to do some weird stuff with invert. And really quickly before I talk more about that, got this cool little trick here where if you jump in that spot, you can go through that room. You normally would not be able to go through that at all. Yeah, it's really funny. Don't ask me why that works. It's just some funniness with the game's collision and stuff. But yeah. But Aquastream, the thing about Aquastream is that it's not just swim for us, but it's also a method of applying a bunch of DPS to enemies using a technique known as the crouch tech, basically. And if you repeatedly tap and release crouch as you're firing the Aquastream, I can show it right now, you'll get a lot more hitboxes than ordinarily. Like, this is like the normal Aquastream, and it's like way more with the crouch tech. So that's something that we'll hopefully see for the late game bosses, if that comes up. But yeah, Aquastream is very, very powerful. All right, so I'm gonna be farming this Barbados enemy, and normally I would have gone back to the village after, after getting Craftwork, but we have everything we need to be able to go, almost everything we need to go save Jeeble, which is the first task in completing the true ending for the game, and thus completing the randomizer seed. Our goal is to defeat all evil, I believe it's called. So in order to do so, you have to save Jeeble by striking the moon with Zangetsu. I don't know why I keep saving. Your goal is to strike the moon with Zangetsu when it turns red, and that way you save Jeeble. It's supposed to be a reference to Castlevania Symphony of the Night saving Richter. So once we find Zangetsu, we'll be able to do that. Reflector Ray. Okay, nice. We don't need that, but it would have been progression for us if we didn't already have flight with the high jump. So yeah, At the top of this room is another key item check, and it could contain Zangetsu, or it could contain a means of. Okay, it's not Zangetsu. What I was going to say though, it could have contained the means of accessing an area that would have allowed us to have more like potential checks, such as silver bromide, and even the backroom keys do this as well. In this case, we got crafting materials, which are good, but not really that important for us anymore, I would say. For how the seed has gone so far, I don't think we really need crafting materials. But again, because of the nature of the randomized results from crafting recipes, those crafting materials can be way better than anything that you'd get with the normal recipe in the vanilla game. Oops. So we're going up here to the secret room, which players call the attic, and there's a key item check here. So again, could contain Zangetsu. If it doesn't contain Zangetsu, we just have to go back. Let me actually save quickly before I die. But yeah, if it doesn't contain Zangetsu, we'd have to go back to another area and look for key item checks in those areas. So let's see if we're lucky here. But yeah, this will be a pretty standard route to take if you're playing STS Rando on your own. Okay, silver bromide. So not quite Zangetsu, but again, unlocks another area if we wanted to go there. The thing about silver bromide, you have to go back to the town, and then you have to take a photo, which gives you an ID, and then you have to speak to an NPC known as Odie, who's located in the library, Liber Ex Machina, and he'll give you the pass plate, which allows you to take a ride on the train, and that takes you to Underground Sorcery Lab. So basically, it's a bunch of steps which function as a key. Also, I shouldn't be doing this habit. I don't have Zangetsu yet, so let me not fight Jeeble. Alright, so we're just going back here. Checking the side quests. Again, could be accessories there for Jeeble's glasses. And let's check what we can craft. Ooh, Dine's Left. I love Dine's Left. It's a pretty good weapon. Red Beast Edge is good as well, but this is not the highest tier. This is like the tier 2 one, so not as much damage. We're gonna get Dine's Left instead.
Is there a specific weapon class that, like, just in casual play you prefer?
Oh, my favorite weapon class. You know, I thought
it's always a good sign when someone either starts, or so. I love it.
So many weapons in this game are so fun. So it's definitely hard to think. I haven't thought about this on my own. You know, when I was starting out, I liked the sword because it was quick and has a decent hitbox. But I think over time I've grown to enjoy the whip because it's just makes a really cool sound effect, and the hitbox is nice for hitting enemies that are at a diagonal angle to you. So yeah, I'd probably say the whip is my favorite weapon class. As far as favorite weapon though, I don't know if I can answer that one. There's so many cool weapons even among the whips. Probably the ice whip. Yeah, sorry.
Ooh, oh no, you finish your thought, please.
Yeah, maybe the ice whip is my favorite whip because it has a cool sound effect as well.
Yeah, there's a person in chat that in all caps just going guns, 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 guns.
You know, guns are cool, but you have to have so much in a rando context for them to be able to work properly. You need not need, but you hope to have infinite ammo. You hope to have the highest damaging ammo type, and then you also hope to have the best gun weapon, which is the homing gun. And that ends up kind of being a little too much for most seeds in most situations. Also, let me take a trip back because there's one thing that's really important to do now before we proceed, which is dismantling. So I just want to take a quick look at what we can do with that. Okay. None of this stands out for now, but potentially these can be useful, so I'll keep them in mind, and then we'll come back if we end up finding anything else that can be useful. It kind of all depends on the items that we gather, because right now we only have so many items that we can dismantle, so they'll only produce the the recipes that we saw in the crafting shop there. But yeah, our next stop is going to be Tower of Twin Dragons. That's one of the closest places that we can go to now that offers us a key item check. In order to get there, we have to go across the broken bridge. And again, normally in the vanilla game, you need craft work to do so. But since we already have flight, we don't need to do that. We can just go across the normal way. There will be a few concepts I'll be leveraging for farming purple shards, even though we already have dimension shift, because again, we're still looking for something that will help us for the endgame bosses beyond what we presently have. It's the idea of deferring a farm until you have either higher luck available, or a means of more efficiently farming that enemy, or just doing the farm right away as soon as you see it in order to get the potential drop sooner than your opponents that would defer it. These concepts are mostly relevant for racing. I don't think they're too important for playing rando on your own casually, but it's something that it's like two differing philosophies that players adopt based on their playstyle. Whether they're more aggressive with trying to find progression in the seed, or whether they want to play it safer and just do the efficient farm when it becomes available. And we're going to see an example of that right now, because I think we don't have the toad still. Yeah. We're going to be farming the toad in a spot that's one room over. Not this room, but the room over to the bottom right. We could have farmed it earlier in the room that where the bridge or the broken bridge was. But farming it there is a little bit of a pain because resetting the room takes a long time. Whereas if you farm the toads here, you can reset them really quickly, but you don't have the spot available until after you have a means of getting across the bridge. So it's kind of a risk you take. Do you farm the toads as soon as you have them available, but risk taking a long time because of the inefficient farm spot? Or do you farm them in a better spot, but only available once you have some progression abilities? Those in the chat, what do you think of these two? Are you Gamba fans, or are you people that would prefer to play safe?
It's like knowing my luck in randos, I'd probably stick with the safe one, because otherwise I'd probably be grinding the other spot for hours.
Yeah, depending on what ooh, I forgot to equip this. Depending on what equipment you have as well, sometimes that will influence players' decisions. So if they have higher luck boosting equipment, then they'll decide, okay, I'll just do the farm in the efficient spot because my luck boost will improve it even better.
Ooh, he says, let's see here, got a always Gamba, if I'm racing Gamba, Bamba fans, let it ride, deferring Toad. I like the, I see I grind for 100%.
I like these philosophies, guys. I think all of you will become excellent Bloodstained Ritual of the Night randomizer racers.
I think the majority is they're going for the Gamba.
Very natural. Embrace the Gamba. So we're gonna farm one more enemy down here, and again, I don't strictly speaking need to farm, but it's just nice to be able to find some purple shards. We already have Aqua Stream, which again that would suffice for the end game, but anything like Void Ray or Fall Tyab would also help a lot. And if we don't manage to get the purple shard from this enemy, I'm not too bummed about it. We can probably press onward since we know exactly the spot we want to go to next already. So one thing, a lot of randomizer players... Oh, Void Ray. Oh, excellent. Oh, love to see it. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, one thing a lot of randomizer players also kind of discuss amongst themselves is whether you... So there's some situations where you might need to go all the way down into this area known as Forbidden Underground Waterway to the Hidden Desert in order to find the white shard progression location that'll give you like double jump or high jump. Basically the one that allows you to unlock more of the game. And that's like the nightmare situation. because Hidden Desert is super far out of the way, similar to where Zangetsu is located, but instead, of course, for white shards. The thing is, sometimes you'll find equipment such as Kung Fu shoes that allows you to potentially go across the broken bridge gap without necessarily having a progression ability that would normally allow you to get across. But the problem with that is that you won't oftentimes be able to get across in like maybe enough tries, or maybe you don't have enough mana, because Kung Fu shoes, using Kung Fu shoes to get across the broken bridge gap requires a little bit of mana investment per attempt. So if you're not comfortable with doing that as a sequence break, then the alternative being Hidden Desert is a nightmare situation. So some randomizer players are a lot bolder than I am. They'll go for something like that, but me personally, I'll go to Hidden Desert if I really, really have to. Thankfully in the sea, we don't have to go there. We already have things that will help us.
Now remind me that the people in the portraits and that one specific cat early on, those were people that paid for the Kickstarter campaign?
You know,
I'm confused.
I think that's the case. I'm actually not 100% sure myself though. Like, I heard something like that before, but as far as I know, it's something like maybe the Kickstarter backers chose the portrait that's in the room.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. The backer rooms actually have like, I think designs that were also chosen by the Kickstarter backers. So if we ever, okay, I don't think we really need to go to a backer room in the seed, but if we do manage to go inside a backer room, I guess we can be able to see it. Yeah, so this is the Tower of Twin Dragons. If any of you are familiar with Clock Tower, this is basically the Clock Tower of the game. Clock Tower being like the stereotypical worst area of the game in every Castlevania game. It's not as bad, honestly, in this game, but if we didn't have like again, flight basically, then it would be a lot worse. Also, I might not have gone to the accessory check. Okay, when we get to the elevator that's above us, I'll probably go down there to do the accessory check. Because again, if we find Jeebel's glasses, that would help tremendously. Solves combat by itself. Although again, we already have Void Ray, so even if we don't find Jeebel's glasses, like we're gonna be fine. Another thing about Tower of Twin Dragons is that if your only form of flight is Dimension Shift, you actually might not be able to get through Tower of Twin Dragons, because as far as I understand, or maybe not completely, as far as I understand, Tower of Twin Dragons, the 3D rooms where there's like the rotating like corridors with the gears and stuff that we were in, those rooms you cannot use Dimension Shift in them at all. It's just like I guess like a safety measure that the devs programmed in the game. I'm not exactly sure why though. I feel like it's completely fine. Like nothing bad could go wrong.
I feel anytime someone says that, I'm finding an X button to press for doubt.
Yeah. No, your instincts are correct there. You know, there's plenty of just like odd bugs in this game that just happen from playing normally. So honestly, it's understandable that they would implement such a safety measure. We're gonna be coming up on the next boss. But before that, here's a cute little secret. There's a weapon chest check here. It can't be Zangetsu, sadly. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It can't be Zangetsu, sadly, but it can be Valkyrie Sword. Which, you know, Valkyrie Sword's pretty cool, so worth checking. All right, here's the next boss. This is what the area is so named after. The Twin Dragons. Valak. This is basically just an auto-scroller boss. After you've dealt enough damage to the boss, you have to wait out basically a cutscene for them to make it down the tower. So we will do exactly that. We are gonna brush the dragon's teeth a little bit. Shoutouts to Bobby. And I think we've dealt enough damage, so we're just gonna sit here and wait.
That was a very efficient teeth cleaning.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The dragons are very glad. fact,
Yeah, you
they're
can tell
so
how happy.
it's like a dog, like a panting in happiness, mouth opening and closing. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Dineslev, why I like it so much. Dineslev is a dark type weapon, and it so happens that the final two bosses, Dominique and Bale, are both weak to dark. So that, along with Void Ray, will be excellent options for the final two bosses. Okay, just a couple hits. Oh, okay. They're being a little rowdy. I think I might have missed like maybe a couple hits for them to finish up. So that's why they're still attacking. But after these last attacks, then we should see them crumble into purple shard. It's funny, like the way their death animation is super funny. Is they literally just crumble into purple shards. All right, there it is.
Well done.
Yeah. So normally it's faster to get grabbed there, but I just want to get straight to the gold chest without. Oh, okay, nice. There we go. All right, we got Zangetsu. We're good now. We can go ahead and close off the seed. And I realize now I have not put on armor. Let's just put on some armor. So yeah, we've got go mode. So we're gonna be going straight to the final approach from here. But before we go to Den of Behemoths, which is the final approach, we have to go and save Jeeble. And we're gonna do any last minute tasks that we did not finish off here. Which includes doing one more shop trip. Okay, nothing new in the shop.
As I suspected, it was Alfred's doing.
And you'll notice how we actually didn't go to most of the areas in the game. If any of you have played this game before, that'll be very evident. Yeah, it turns out in a randomizer, you don't often, or an SCS at least, you don't often visit every single area. You only really go to the areas that you exactly want to find, like either a key item or progression ability. So that's what tends to happen with these seeds, but it's perfectly okay. All right, so we've got ether, we got healing. This should definitely be enough. Worst case scenario, actually, for that matter, I'm gonna make one trip to Lever Ex Machina and see if I can get one more movement ability after we save Jeeble, of course. Because if we find something like Invert, that would help tremendously for fighting Bale specifically, because we actually have Voskia as one of our shards. And for those of you that don't know, Voskia is a red shard that summons 3 icicles. And the icicles fall down according to gravity after you apply the spell. But if you invert, gravity's flipped around basically. So the icicles will fall the other way. And you can have, by doing this, you can have them like basically stay suspended in the air if you keep inverting over and over, and they'll still apply their damage because the icicles don't go away until they hit the ground. So it's a really cool technique for Bale specifically, because Bale has a super large set of hitboxes for being compatible with that. Ow. So here's Jeeble. All we have to do here is not get grabbed by that. And we have to hit him enough times, and then the moon will turn red. And when the moon turns red, we just strike the moon with Zangetsu, and it removes like the illusion he's being controlled by, basically. Again, very Soten stuff there. Okay, there it is. Should be transforming now.
Ah.
And we strike the moon. So Jeeble is saved, and performing this opens up the area where we open up the Den of Behemoths, which is the second to last area of the game. And for all intents and purposes, Den of Behemoths is just like a like an intermediate area. We don't actually have anything that we need to do there other than just basically waltz through it. Since we have Dimension Shift, we can skip one of the bosses that you'd normally be required to fight when you go into Den of Behemoths. And it turns out that boss actually does drop a purple shard as well. So it's pretty interesting. So there will be some seeds where you go to Den of Behemoths and you still don't have dimension shift, so you might find yourself having to fight that boss. And once again, those situations are very undesirable. So, yep, as mentioned before, I'm making a quick trip to the library just to get the book. One of the books that the librarian gives is called the Deadeye Tome, and it improves our damage dealt with purple shards, which is probably going to be our main form of damage for this final stretch. So I do want to make sure I can get all the damage I can possibly get, even with a little bit of a detour. And I also mentioned like the additional positive of being able to get invert from the boss that you'd normally get double jump from in the vanilla game. He's known as Andreolphus. This boss is a bit of an annoyance for like the proper speedrun of this game. But for randomizer, as long as you've got pretty much any competent combat option, then you can deal with him pretty quickly without him wasting time with some of his annoying attacks. Ordinarily, you'd go to Lever Ex Machina much sooner. Here's an accessory check. Ordinarily, you go to Lever Ex Machina much sooner, but sometimes if you just want to go straight to where you know there's probably going to be progression, which in this case was the Tower of Twin Dragons with Zangetsu, then you'd probably want to make that trip happen later. So that's what we chose to do here. Mm-hmm. There's also an enemy here that is very noteworthy because that's a blue shard enemy, and I think one of the chatters mentioned before regarding Craftwork is that blue shard enemies have the chance to drop Accelerator, which is basically this game's Panther equivalent. It allows you to zoom, like really zoom. If you think backdash canceling is cool, Accelerator is like the proper like fast movement option in the game. Although it's again not available in every seed readily, so unfortunately we haven't gotten it on the 2 kills that we did on that enemy, so I'm just going to leave it behind. And here's the save room just before Andreolphus. Let me put on Dine's Lift again. And right after we fight this boss, just to see what it gives us, we will go straight to the end of the game. Okay, it's actually acting pretty kind so far. It's not jumping in the air like it normally likes to do.
I'm not gonna lie, the first time I fought this boss, I looked at him like, and I cannot unsee, it's the front half of Arceus for the Pokemon fans.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that's actually true. Wait. Now I myself cannot unsee that.
Right?
Man.
Chad, I'm not sorry.
All right, we got invert, which is nice. So yeah, again, that will help for the final bosses. Although what will help even more is getting some mana refill. So I'm gonna grab that right now. And we got some healing as well. So yeah, from here, we're just gonna make our way towards the, oops, that happens sometimes. Yeah, that's invert. That's what invert looks like, folks. It can be a little dizzying, so apologies in advance. Hopefully we won't have to activate it too often. I'll be probably favoring the high jump where I can, but yeah. All right, so we're gonna teleport to the center once again. Make our way towards the final stretch. And I think we do have enough damage output, especially for Dominique. For Bale, we might have to rely a little bit on the healing that we bought, but otherwise should be mostly okay since we have great damage options available. One of the limiting factors about fighting the in-game bosses is just how much damage output you have access to, because if the fight goes on too long, especially for Bale, too many cycles of his attacks can happen, and depending on your movement options, you might have to wait out the attacks longer before you can apply more damage to him, which gives you more opportunities to get hit. So ideally we we would deal with Bale quickly with the options that we have right now. And I'm going to make one last check here towards the right for Jeeble's glasses. Again, this is an accessory check before we make our way towards the final bosses. So this is Den of Behemoths. As you can see, every enemy is humongous. There's a giant frog there. Even the rooms are giant. So traversing through them takes a bit, but it's honestly not too bad.
I love it.
The chests are big. The bats are going to be big too when we come across them. The dragons are big. It's like a fantasy land within a fantasy land. Fever dream type stuff. The music is actually pretty cool in this area. I found myself growing more of an affinity to it over time.
Yeah.
The first time I heard it, I thought it was like, it's a little too self-aware of music, but no, I think it's perfect. All right, so we're gonna be inverting for just that key item check, just in case. And there's our giant bat. Because I have spike breastplate on, I'm dealing contact damage to enemies as I come across them. So that's why we saw that bat getting pushed away out a little bit. The giant dragon is underneath me, and sometimes it jumps like that, so it's pretty funny. All right. So just a couple more rooms before we encounter that boss that I was mentioning that we don't have to fight, thanks to the fact that we have dimension shift already. And you'll probably see me like sliding off these ledges. Strictly speaking, I do this just because it looks cool. Technically, it does actually save time as well, but it doesn't save that much time.
More importantly, it looks cool.
Exactly, yeah. So
swag strats exist for a reason, and that is the reason.
Yeah, we definitely take the swag points. Here's the boss. We're just gonna skip it by using dimension shift here. So it's pretty nice that that's available. Saves us a little bit of time. And there's yet another purple shard boss, technically, in the next area called Glacial Tomb. But again, we don't need to fight that boss because we already have dimension shift. In fact, in the vanilla game, you'd fight that boss for dimension shift. But again, we don't need to fight it. Oh my goodness, that bad. That's sometimes the problem with having a spike breastplate on, is that the bats like act super weirdly. So they'll get caught in your contact damage, and then they'll like drift in the same direction as you're moving, and you'll just like, yeah, they'll just keep getting in your way over and over. So this is Glacial Tomb. Completely frozen area. Pretty spooky when you think about it. Just doing some blue chest checks. Again, blue chest in this area can have additional healing, but we haven't found those from these, so nothing of use. And then another chance at Jeeble's glasses, maybe. Ooh. Oh, okay. Actually, this is the Jeeble's glasses one right here. Oh, okay. Nah. Yeah, the other one was the armor chest, but the one on the left, the breakable wall, was the Jeeble's glasses potentially. Was not there this time, but that's perfectly fine. All right, so again, we'll have to manage our resources carefully, but I think we have sufficient resources to be fine. So all that's left is the final room where we have to use dimension shift, and again, this exact room is the only reason we need dimension shift to beat the game.
Dimension shift. Dimension shift. Dimension shift.
All right, nice. And we'll put on that void ray. We also have in our inventory summon insect. This can apply poison to Dominique, and for that matter, any humanoid enemy or boss. So we've seen that in action here, and here we go. Here's the first among the final two of the boss gauntlet. Oops. Okay, there we go. That actually worked out. It was so funny.
Nice.
She actually went away from my insect, but then came back to it. So we take those. This is not the great pattern. Okay, we're good now. Actually, I'm going to use Void Ray just to kite her. And something that is possible to do with the laser weapons is you tap the magic button and it will cause the damage to be dealt without having to incur all of the mana cost that you normally incur by holding down the directional sharp button. So it's really nice because it allows you to kind of skip the cooldown that you normally have to endure when it comes to the damage cooldown. The damage cooldown that you have to incur when it comes to these kinds of weapons. Okay, I'm gonna heal up just a little more. Let's see. Just a little more and she'll be dead. I'll finish it off with some backdash cancel attacks. And something I haven't mentioned about Dominique yet, because she hasn't done it that much in this fight, surprisingly, is the famous elbow attack. We killed her before she managed to do it again. But that elbow is basically instant, not reactable. You have to just basically play around it the whole time. So any sort of weird movement you see me doing is in order to avoid getting instant hit by that elbow. She can only do it in phase 2. So yeah. So yeah, now we're on to Bale. Excuse me. Let me refill my MP before we start. And my HP. And Bale has 3 separate parts to it, but the only part that takes real damage is the one that Dominique is currently on, which is the frog here. So we actually got good RNG. The frog is the one we want to see. The reason for this, sorry, this boss is kind of weird. The reason we want to see frog is frog has the easiest patterns to dodge, and also is kind of the easiest one to damage while it's doing its attacks. So yeah, and as we can see, Void Ray just allows us to just deal damage pretty much from wherever we want. Actually, I should show a little bit of the Voskia tech while we're in this fight. It's pretty cool. Basically, if it doesn't hit the ground, which unfortunately it did there, then you can have the Voskia like keep on hitting the boss over and over before it touches the ground. It's pretty sick. Let me heal up. And this attack's no problem to dodge. Not just because we have invert, but also it's frog, so it tends to be easier to dodge. So yeah, now we're just hoping not for cat. Unfortunately, you can't get the same animal twice in a row, so we know for sure we won't get frog again until after the next pattern. But if we kill it in a 2 cycle, that won't matter, thankfully. Okay, nice. We got demon. So demon is a bit tricky, but not as much as cat, so we should be fine here. Let me just get my mana back up. And time will be coming up upon the boss health bar, or I said health bar, boss being defeated. No health bars here. Not in an Igarashi game.
I was about to say, did I miss something?
Yeah. No health bar, unfortunately. You just got to keep doing the damage until it's dead. Oh. Let's heal up. Out of mana. Get my mana back up. Okay, gotta be careful about this attack. That attack does a bunch of damage if you get hit by it. Alright. We couldn't get a 2 cycle, but it should be close to dying, so just 1 more cycle to go. And we can only get frog or cat on this next cycle, so hopefully we get frog. Again, we're not dealing any damage to it right now. Okay, we got cat. That's okay. Oh, okay, well, it just one hit to die anyway. That's time.
GG's.
Wow, unfortunate that it was only one hit from the 2 cycle.
Cat was just like, I just want to get in one. That's it.
Yeah. Got one more left in me. So yeah, this was Bloodstained Ritual of the Night SDS randomizer, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, this seed, honestly, we had pretty good stuff available to us, but I played extremely safe because we normally have much more healing available. Either that or we have Jeeble's classes, but we didn't find either one in this seed, so I wanted to play it safe. But yeah, 57-21, not a bad time. Still under the express lane hour, so I'm relieved about that.
It's still an absolutely amazing showcase of skill. Like, it was awesome to watch.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
I was just gonna say, yeah, K-Drive, now is your time. Give your shout outs. What are you playing? Where can they find you? Any shout outs to anybody else you want? The floor is 100% yours.
Yeah. So definitely shout outs to the Bloodstained Ritual of the Night randomizer community. The folks over there have been of tremendous help for teaching people how to play the game and giving them help wherever they need. I actually only first played this game in 2025. And after watching back on some old tournament footage that I had watched when I was first getting into Castlevania games in 2023, I watched back on the 2023 Bloodstained randomizer tournament, and I learned so much from that. So big thanks to everyone that is involved in that community. Special thanks, of course, to Fran, Tony Ortiz, Jupiter Climb, and everyone else that plays randomizers on stream. And then also want to give a big shout out to everyone in the Afterimage community, which is my main speed game. They've been a tremendous support for me throughout my speedrunning journey. So I want to, make sure to shout out them. And then if you're interested in anything else that I do personally, I do speedruns, blind playthroughs, randomizers, everything on YouTube. And you can find all that on youtube.com/GDQ. Usually, if I'm doing a new speedrun, it's going to be for a Metroidvania. But these days, I've also been mixing it in with some blind playthroughs of various indie games. So if that's something that interests you, definitely feel free to check it out. But yeah, that's all I've got. Oscar, thanks so much for having me on.
Oh, of course. And honestly, to be in the community for that short of time to show this level of skills is stunning. So GG's, like across the board. But everybody, give GG's K-Drive just for a little bit longer. And I want to give you all a quick goal. So, and welcome back, friends, for some more Metroidvania-themed Express Lane. I'm actually wearing my awesome Frosted Tales 2026 shirt because we are bringing everything over to the Fatales with, and I just found this out, so we're going to give super tons and tons of love because this is the first time that she has ever showcased a speedrun. It is Ludasar running Blue Fire 80% restricted. So hello, friend, and welcome to Showcasing Speedruns.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Asuka. Yeah, this is my first time showcasing a speedrun on any stream. The category we're going to be playing today is any percent no major glitches. So there are some cool-looking glitches that we do allow, but we're not going to do anything like going out of bounds or anything like that. Before we dive in, would my commentators like to introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm Mint Swirl. You can just call me Mint, and I am so excited for this run. The speed tech is incredible.
Hi, everybody. I'm Cass, also known as Heptagon Sun, and I've speedran my way back here to bring you Blue Fire, to help out with Blue Fire.
Okay, we're going to get started because today is Trans Day of Visibility. We're going to name the file T-Dob.
Yeah.
Love that.
Trans rights.
Trans rights.
Okay, time is going to start when I select the difficulty. So on go, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
And now
Let's see it.
I'm going to mash the escape key so I can skip this opening cutscene because that is like a minute-long cutscene, and we don't want to watch that.
We're already in with the tech. I'd love to see it.
Yep.
Speaking of, we're going to have a pretty early piece of tech here that I'm going to quickly explain so that Luna can kind of focus on some of the techie earlier parts of this run. One of the first ones we're going to see is being able to move whenever you're opening a chest or during a cutscene, and that's mostly just doing a pause input at the same time as the entry input. That allows you to move during those things. The other thing we're going to see pretty quickly is a direct dash cancel. This is a pretty important part of the run because it lets us get a pretty important sequence break pretty quickly. But essentially, if an enemy is taller than you or above you, you can target it, dash, and quickly untarget it, and you'll gain a ton of height. So as you can imagine, that's very easy to abuse to get around, especially in some of these earlier areas.
Yeah, we'll see that coming up soon. This is our first arena fight. We just group those enemies up so we can take them out all at once. And then we are going to open these chests with a series of inputs so that we can move while we're opening them. And then we're going to do another save and quit. So the items we picked up there were the shield, which allows us to block and parry. And then we also picked up an old key, which we're going to use to open some doors.
Hope y'all didn't get tired of chests after all of the ones we saw in Bloodstained. We have plenty more to go in here.
For those who are unfamiliar, this game is a 3D Metroidvania. We're doing Metroidvanias tonight. And how much of this game are we actually seeing in the run, Luna?
We're not seeing very much of this game. There is so much more to this game that we're not going to be able to see it in this run. I highly recommend you play it.
With the sequence break that we're going to see here in just a second with this direct dash cancel, probably even less of it.
And just like that.
See how high?
What?
Yeah, so you are not supposed to be able to dash that high, but it's very useful. That's a movement ability we're not supposed to have until significantly later in the game. We don't have it just yet. We have to equip it a little later. What we're in now is our first void. Is to kind of test how good you are with the game's movement. When you complete them, you increase your max HP. However, this is the only void we're going to complete, so we will be doing the entire game with a max of 5 HP. That is
a lot like Control was a Metroidvania.
I'm saying. So how much max HP could you get by the end of the game if you weren't speedrunning?
I believe the max in a casual playthrough, if I can grab this ledge, is 20 HP.
So we're going to be severely under upgraded here going into all of the fights in this game.
That's correct. Most of the endgame bosses could kill us in about 2 hits, depending on the attack.
Ooh.
Personally, I don't think I'd survive one.
Knowing me, I'd probably still be fighting that first enemy that was really tall.
Okay, and now our next objective is to go equip the ability that we grabbed early. You can only equip those at fire shrines, so that's our next goal. Before we do that, though, we have to use this little slug friend once again.
Little slug friend.
And so we get that on top of us by just letting it suck our brain, basically,
Yes,
right?
basically.
Worth it.
It's worth it, yeah. And then for this time door puzzle, I don't think they considered the existence of that box because it trivializes the entire thing.
Awesome.
I'm noticing we're dashing a lot, and there's these like red and black blobs everywhere. I think I'm getting a lot of Celeste vibes out of this. Like, like if Celeste was a Metroidvania.
Oh, yeah.
I knew what I signed up for.
So what does that equipment do for you?
So that ability is a double dash. You're not supposed to have it this early, and the fact that we do is going to enable us to break the game apart even further. This section of the game is where it teaches you about dashing to things that are above you. However, what we do with the slugs and some other enemies, I don't believe that is intended. So
As
now
we see you slashing here and there, is that part of the movement tech?
Yeah, if we slash, whenever you see me high up in the air, I'm generally going to try and slash. That just helps us return to the ground a little bit faster so that we can start dashing again. It's like recharging your dashes in Celeste.
What are we on our way to now?
So now we're entering the arcane tunnels. Almost immediately, we're going to try a skip here that's kind of precise. It's going to require some coyote timing, or coyote jumps, if you're familiar. It might take a couple of tries to get it.
The coyote jumps, for those who aren't aware, kind of you get a couple of frames before you actually start falling and can no longer jump whenever you run off a ledge, right?
It's correct, and we got it 2 tries. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that.
Very nice, very nice.
First,
As long as I
second try.
don't dunk. Yeah, first, second try. If I dunk into that slime, I have to do it all over again, and that's no fun. We're grabbing this fire shrine just so we can fast travel to it at the end of the game, and then we're gonna grab our first weapon upgrade. We're gonna make sure we equip that. I have forgotten to equip those before. And now we are going to grab our second and final spirit of the run. Cass, I think you're going to like the name of this one.
Okay, all right.
It is the Aerial Rattal.
The aerial Rattal.
Wait,
Had to have
I was about to
In
say,
chat.
Rattels have been mentioned.
So what does the aerial rat do for us?
Basically, when we're airborne, we'll just do a little bit of extra damage. I had to have the rat bringer on for this.
When do you
And
get the mint
normally-
upgrade? Oh, sorry.
Unfortunately, there is no mint upgrade. This is Orit. He's going to offer to repair this elevator for a fee. We don't have the money, so he says he'll fix it anyway as long as we pay double later, which we're not going to do that. But I paid him in my casual playthrough, so it's fine. Now that
Miri in chat for reminding us this is just like if Breath of the Wild was a Metroidvania.
Exactly.
This sounds right. Okay, so because we have the double dash, we're now able to get another movement ability early here. These are called little green guys. Everybody in the community just calls them little green guys. They explode as they get close to you, not unlike little green guys from another video game franchise.
I don't think I've ever heard of a different kind of green guy.
Nah. Totally new concept.
Now we're going to show off the parrying mechanic of the game. If you get a successful parry, you deal about as much damage as 4 sword swings, I think it was. So we got 1 successful parry there. And we missed 1 there, that's fine. The ability we're about to pick up now is the Whirlwind Hook. It serves as a combat ability and a movement ability. Essentially, we can swing our sword to charge it up, and it does a lot of damage in combat, but it also serves as an extra jump. There's also some unintended movement mechanics. I believe, Mint, you wanted to explain that?
Yes, so as you can see, if you use the whirlwind attack on a ladder, you can just zoom up the ladder instead of just taking the time for the ladder animation to play out. If you've played literally any video game with ladders, this is amazing. Like, the worst part of every video game with ladders is just slowly climbing up the ladder, at least in my opinion.
Unless it's Snake Eater.
Unless it's Snake Eater, exactly. This is kind of like if Snake Eater was a Metroidvania.
That's just what I was thinking. That's crazy.
Okay, so now we're gonna equip the Aerial Rattal Spirit that we grabbed earlier. And then we have another bit of tech with, it's sort of what we do with chess, but we're also going to do it with levers.
Just canceling the animation so that we can keep walking.
Yep, so this funny zoomed out camera angle you see, we're supposed to be frozen on the platform. However, we're able to continue moving after we hit the lever, and that saves probably like 10 seconds.
I love whenever you're able to like fix a camera but keep moving. It's always so silly to me.
Yeah.
Now, if the in-game timer were paused, we wouldn't be allowed to do that. That does go against the rules of the category, but luckily the in-game timer is not paused for those cutscenes, so it's perfectly fine.
Are the leaderboards for this game based on the in-game timer?
Yes, they are.
Gotcha.
And usually the disparity between the in-game timer and the RTA is about 15 minutes. We're going to do another animation skip here so that we can start the process of opening this door while that gate behind us is opening. Now we have a couple of arena fights coming up. I'm going to try to group the enemies up. They don't always want to cooperate with me.
I love the little one with the propeller.
Yeah, enemies that look like that in this game are usually very annoying.
But they're
That's
so
why-
cute.
That's why I feel a kinship with them, because I'm also annoying and maybe cute.
You'll notice a lot of doors in this game open from top to bottom, so whenever possible, we're just going to try and jump over them, get as much height as possible, because waiting for doors to open is slow.
It's just like all of my doors in my house.
It's true.
I'll take your. That's an interesting design choice. I'll give you that.
I got stuck in one once and it was not pretty.
You know, people criticize the aesthetic decision, but you know, I think it's a good design for the house. It lets me jump over the door.
Now we're picking up our next movement ability. This is intended to be the first movement ability you get, but for us it's our third. It allows you to wall run and wall climb, and just like the whirlwind hook, there's also some broken things we're going to do with it, but we're not going to show that off until the second dungeon. Now our remaining goal for this dungeon is just to get to the first boss, so we have a couple of keys to pick up before we can do that.
So it's a bit like if Mirror's Edge was a Metroidvania.
I was thinking with the keys, it's kind of like if Blueprints was a Metroidvania.
I don't know why they let you dash up to that enemy like that high. It's once again trivializing their own timed puzzles, but hey, I'm not complaining.
It's a scary jump.
Yeah, it's very satisfying when you learn it.
Somebody in chat. So this game is like if Minecraft was a Metroidvania.
Right,
Exactly.
because of the green guys that explode, yeah.
If Minecraft had little green guys that exploded, it would be just like that.
Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't.
I'm just waiting until
This
the
one goes bottom to top.
Oh, jeez. I'm just waiting to the inevitable. This would be like if Castlevania was a Metroidvania or something.
I think
I'm waiting.
With the dashes and the swords, I was just thinking, this is like if Hollow Knight was a Metroidvania.
Yes! Hollow Knight, famous for its swords.
So this is our first boss, Guardian Gra. And
Gra.
say goodbye. Say goodbye. to
goodbye, Gra.
Gra.
Goodbye, Gra. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the name before. That's
Gra.
incredible.
Yeah.
Gruh.
So
Gra sound effect too.
So is that health bar just gonna stick around?
yep. So the collision on that gate just really isn't there. That's not complicated to do. You just dash at the side of the gate and you go through it. Side effect of not actually fighting Guardian Gra is that his health bar is going to stick with us until the next time we save and quit. So it's going to be a little bit.
So it's like the familiar for this game.
Yes. Guardian Gra's our friend.
Gra. Someone Gra's in chat.
This is Bremer. We just need to talk to him for a key. I accidentally double talked to him. We're going to try and cling to this door as we open it, just so we can get over it.
You think Grub misses us?
I think so.
I miss Gra, so...
Sometimes I can still hear Gra's voice.
Oh, good. It survived the load screen.
Oh, perfect.
Also,
Yeah,
welcome to live marathon-esque runs of speedrunning.
I want to point out before it gets buried in the chat, Charbunny said this is kind of a lot like Pokopia, and I was thinking that it was like if Pokopia was maybe like
Like a Metroidvania?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's just what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Lunasar's like,
Although
why did I
I'll-
agree to this?
She asked us to commentate for this, so like I don't know.
I sure did. This is the second dungeon now. You're gonna see, I mentioned earlier there's some tech we do with wall climbing. You're gonna see a quick example of it in a second, but if you miss it, there's a lot more of it to come. So what I did off that wall was a moon jump. You're not supposed to get that much height off of wall jumping, but with a combination of inputs, you can gain a whole bunch of height. And we're gonna be using that a lot throughout this run. We do allow for binding multiple inputs to a single button, as long as they happen at the exact same time.
Specifically with the moon jump, you are jumping off the wall, doing a regrab to get higher on it, and then just jumping again on loop.
So is that what a regrab is?
A regra.
I have no idea, honestly, but it works.
Someday I'll
So are we
find out.
gonna be possessing more statues? Or is those the only ones we're gonna
No, that's the only time that I can think of that they have that mechanic in this game.
Okay. It's like a little taste if Super Mario Odyssey was a Metroidvania.
So those were a couple more moon jumps. We're gonna equip our next weapons now and do some more moon jumps.
Someone in chat called it the grub bar, which I think is incredible.
That's right, check the grub bar.
wait,
Still
wait.
full.
And then a regra. Incredible.
Regra.
I also mentions, love how well the move and release buttons lined up so well on the grub bar.
Oh, wait till you see what happens when we have a second boss health bar on top.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh, I'm so excited.
It really is a
We get
regrab.
more friends.
It's not about the destination, it's all the health, but it's about the health bars we met along the way.
Here we are grabbing our double jump. It's less exciting once you know how to moon jump, but it's still very useful. I can't get over Regra.
Somebody says, I love the simple art style. It's like if Tunic was a Metroidvania.
Yes!
That's just what I was thinking.
We're on the same wavelength. It's incredible.
Metroidvania.
Now we are about to enter the second boss fight. After this long, every boss feels the need to have like their own super long hallway leading up to them.
Me too.
Yeah, my house has one too.
Much like the
actually have
doors
to
in that
BLJ
house.
to get up.
Much like the doors of those houses. Pretty unhinged, right?
Yeah.
My doors do
yeah.
have hinges.
Oh, this
Oh,
is this is grow.
What?
Grow.
It's actually Crow who has decided to be mean to us today, unfortunately. Sometimes you can one cycle the first phase, sometimes they decide to burrow as soon as you hit them, and
Crow has digivolved into Grow.
alright, one more hit for this first phase.
Grow. Can't do a C and a G at the same time. I'm not as good as this game.
This is advanced speedrunning strats for the
Okay, phase 2. Hopefully he'll be nice to us now. Okay. At least let us one cycle the second phase.
Oh, back to
As you
grow.
can see, Guardian Grow remains.
Grow's victorious.
Oh, thank goodness.
You know, seeing that,
Yeah.
that fish-like enemy, it makes me, it's almost like Sega Bass fishing if it were Metroidvania. Yes!
Did not mean to dunk in the water there. I mean, that was RNG manipulation, obviously.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Tell us more about that.
It's really complicated. I don't want to get too into it right now.
This is Express Lane after all. We gotta keep.
Oh,
moving.
of course.
Also, come on, Mint. Check your notes. It's right there.
Oh, am I supposed to talk more about the RNG manip that's totally real?
Yes, that's
No.
all.
Oh, right. We established that you don't have enough time for that. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta keep up.
You have 40 minutes.
Now this area is kind of like the end game hub. We need to go. We got the Temple of God's Key, so that's where we're heading now. We're gonna skip out of this cutscene. Swipe our sword so that we can charge up our whirlwind hook as the lock is opening, just so that we can get over the door as soon as possible. What we learn here is that this door actually leads to the final boss of the game, but we cannot open it until we defeat 3 Shadow Lords. We also gain the ability to fast travel here.
I hate defeating the Shadow Lords on my way into Cass's house, which is also like that.
That's true. Yeah.
Every time. But this next segment is this next section of the game is just about unlocking the various Shadow Lords, and then we fight all 3 of them in pretty rapid succession, and then we get to fight the final boss.
A boss rush.
A boss grush.
A boss grush. You're so right.
Thank you. I don't hear that a lot
Just
from
like
you.
Binding of Isaac was a Metroidvania.
Yes.
We're gonna pick up a rose for a weapon upgrade later. I'm gonna try some swag strats that Cass and Mint have not seen yet. I probably won't get it, but maybe. No, okay.
It started really cool.
Fortunate. Yeah. It's just a faster way up that tower. If you get it, it saves like 5 seconds. If you don't, you lose like 10. Instead, we're gonna
Love
do
gambling.
Yes. We're gonna do a whole bunch of moon jumps up this tower. The first set only requires 3, but the next couple sets require 4, which requires perfect management of your stamina. Okay, we got this one.
Beautiful.
This lever opens up a fire shrine, but we're not gonna go grab it just yet. And we just have one more set of 4. Just barely got it. Okay.
Oh, beautiful.
I am glad that's over with. And now we learn here about the Vessel of Souls. These are just essentially running around collecting orbs.
Orbs.
We have to do this 4 different times. This satisfies one of the requirements for one of the Shadow Lords. But it's essentially just running around collecting orbs. So if you have any announcements or anything, Asuka, this is a really good time.
Oh boy, howdy do I. All right, so for all y'all that are looking to get more involved in the GDQ community, you should be joining the official GDQ Discord. You could even add the Hotfix Enjoyer role, stay in the loop on upcoming events, chat with staff, and a whole bunch more. Best friends in chat, you know who you are, which is everybody in chat right now. ! Discord in the chat for an invite and more info on that. Now, I do have a question for you, because I know there's a few categories, and I've seen you've done the any percent restricted. Any thoughts of any percent unrestricted or 100% no major glitches?
I do want to give any percent unrestricted a try. It's a very broken category with a lot of out-of-bounds glitches. You actually have to down-patch the game, which the devs were kind enough to leave in the down-patched version on Steam. The RTA for that ranges from I barely managed to save that, anywhere from I think the world record's around 11 minutes RTA, and then the other runs are about 20 minutes, so I definitely want to give that a shot. 100% seems like a lot of stuff to memorize. There's a lot of stuff in this game, but I might give it a try someday.
Heck yeah.
But that's our first Vessel of Souls. We're now gonna immediately run off this tower. The other Shadow Lords have their own requirements, and we're going to start working on one of those now. So we take this elevator down into the waterways. In the waterways, there are these 4 buttons. Pressing all 4 of them unlocks another Shadow Lord, but you can only access these from certain points in the game. Whoops.
Considering the waterways, this is kind of like if Hollow Knight was we already did that.
Come on, check your notes.
Ah.
Well,
We're going to deliberately... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if we're repeating jokes, it would just be like if Deathloop was a Metroidvania. Come on.
Yeah, we deliberately dunk in the water there just because it's faster than walking back to the elevator. And we're going to make our way to a second Vessel of Souls. The next Vessel of Souls is...
Ooh.
Oh,
Chat, can you hear us? Why would Grow do this to us?
I think they can't hear us.
This is just like if a silent film was a Metroidvania. Oh, we're back. We have audio.
Now we're back.
Yay.
Yippee, yay.
Okay, I don't think you missed anything. Well, you missed important stuff about the run. You missed some, like, bad jokes, but...
My audio was replaced by Grudio.
oh yes.
Gruh.
So this set of Vessel of Souls, there are a lot of ladders in this area, so we're very lucky that we have ladder fast climb. We actually have another way to do fast climb whenever we don't have a whirlwind charged up, which is our wall run. If you wall run on a wall that is behind a ladder, you can fast climb up it with a series of inputs. And I am very thankful for that because you won't see it in this run, but slope, the regular climb for ladders in this game is excruciatingly slow.
Now, if my notes here are correct, you can also do that in real life, right?
True.
It's not OSHA compliant, but you can do it. Like, physically.
I see. That would really save me a lot of time on the job site, though.
True.
Speedrunning on job sites?
Yes.
Fast climb again, and one more fast climb.
With all these climbs, it's kind of like if Celeste was a Metroidvania.
We did that one.
I keep redoing repeats.
We're regrowing the jokes.
Is this a regrow?
We did kind of have a regrow because the health bar changed to grow, and then it went back to grow.
That's true.
True. Now we're gonna head to what every good Zelda-like game needs, a lava area.
Someone points out OSHA will hear us if we're not careful. Let's turn off the audio again so that we can...
With all that climbing, yeah, it's like if Peak was a Metroid.
There you go!
That's very true, Avery.
There you go.
Get some new material.
We've got some tricky movement through this area. Just gotta manage our resources carefully. There's an enemy I really dislike here, lava worm. They're very shy, but they're also very dangerous. You'll see one in just a second here. So if we approach it, it goes back underground, but they have a very powerful and accurate ranged attack. We're gonna drop down here and hit another lever and cancel the animation, then deliberately drop into the lava to warp back up to this door. This is...
Like, I know you died. That still scared me. I guess not die, just teleported, but...
Yeah, don't worry, it's intentional. But this activates the second of the 4 buttons in the waterways, and then after this, we're going to go into our 3rd vessel of souls.
Ooh. Also, I've been quietly laughing over here. My IRL job deals with OSHA-based things, so I'm just like,
So like, do you speedrun that or what?
no, because then I have to fill out paperwork.
Ah, that's a pretty big time loss.
Is there a gruff
percent.
form?
No. There should be, though. I agree. And then the Figra Nation attacked.
That's a stretch, but I'll let it slide.
This is like if Avatar: The Last Airbender was a Metroidvania.
Oh, true. That's rough, Gruddy.
That's gruff.
That's gruff. You did my joke better than me. What the heck?
Many such
Hey, it's
cases.
her show. It's her show.
Yeah. I have to take the L on this one.
Okay, and then we drop down here. We're going to collect some more orbs. This part I do have, as you can see, I almost got hit by a fireball there, and I might almost get hit again here. Maybe. Yep. It's okay.
Singed.
It helped
Damage
us.
boosting.
Yes. Sometimes it's helpful. Other times it has killed my run. So, they were nice to us today.
There's a lot of really precise geometry in this game that you can stand on. That's really surprising.
Yes.
I think a lot of people would just make those pipes kind of just big flat tubes, even those flanges.
It's kind of like
It's really cool to kind of see that detail.
it's kind of like if Geometry Dash was a Metroidvania.
That's just what I was thinking.
Now that we've done 3 of the 4 vessels of souls, we're going to start working on the requirements for the 3rd Shadow Lord that we haven't talked about at all yet. We're going to go repair some boilers in a non-OSHA compliant way.
Are we at least like forklift certified or what?
I am in real life, but
Same.
Oh, wait, really?
Same. Same.
so that
Not
counts.
forklift certified. I am OSHA construction safety certified.
Dang, I got none of this. Don't trust me.
I'm about to break out my old lady Rolodex of certifications right now.
Wow.
This might be the most certified group we've had on the stream for a while.
It's okay, I'll head out. Like,
I think we can call this safe.
That NPC there was Mira. She told us that the elevator to the town is broken. Her sister is trying to fix the boilers to repair it. However, she hasn't seen her sister in a while. So we have to go find her sister and help out. Now I've got some very precise moon jumps here. This is... unfortunately, we didn't get it there.
Got some kind words from chat. All in all, I'm having a grunderful time with this grunt.
Okay, we
Me
got it
too,
that
honestly.
time.
Aw, easy.
At the end of the day, we're all gruh.
Yes, we're all Gra. That is not the intended way to go through that room at all.
That was slick, though.
yeah, that was
That was
incredible.
cool.
You're supposed to ride these slow-moving platforms and then jump off of them before they dunk back into the lava. But that's really slow. That's basically auto-scroller status, and we don't want to do that.
I agree.
Auto scroller? Is that anything?
Auto-gruller? Is that anything?
Something? I don't know.
I think we're running a little low on material, y'all.
Okay, can we can we go back to grow?
We're going to perform another glitch here now called Boiler Skip. If we jump outside of the interaction zone as we interact with the boiler, we're able to interact with it again so that we can get this one to count as 2 boilers. This is really nice because the third boiler we would normally have to go to is pretty far away. So this saves like 20 or 30 seconds.
That cannot be OSHA compliant.
Yeah, probably not. Also in chat, can't wait for the Blue Fire all glitches, all grows run.
Yes. Okay, and the last boiler is right here. After this, we will be saying goodbye to Guardian Grub.
No!
I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself.
Can we get an F in chat for Gruh?
I'm so
Get a
sorry.
G in chat.
G in
for
chat for
Gruh.
Gruh?
We never killed Gruh, so Gruh does live on. We're just saying goodbye for now.
I just didn't cherish Grow with the time I had. Like, I'm having a lot of regrets right now.
Regrets.
I think I treasured all of the Grut quality time that I spent with
There's
Gruh.
so many G's coming out of chat. Let me throw my own G in there.
Thank you, every Grutty.
Now we
in
just
this-
some Sarah McLachlan music. It's like for your joining the Discord, you say one Gruh. Wait, you were saying?
In this town, we have two objectives. We're gonna help somebody find true love. If you remember, we grabbed Rose earlier. Barry has a crush on somebody. Oops, we just told him no. We're gonna give him the rose, and he's gonna tell us to come back later. And then we're also gonna grab a key of Ember, which is the requirement for one of the Shadow Lords.
This game has side quests. So you could say it's like if Skyrim was a Metroidvania.
True. We save and quit because that counts as the purposes of later for Barry's quest. And we're gonna see what he got up to in the past 30 seconds.
Oh, this is just like if a dating sim was a Metroidvania.
Wait, that's actually a banger game idea. Someone should get on that.
Jeez.
All right, let's go say
Saving and
hi
quitting
to
does
Barry.
count for later for me too.
So it looks like Barry was successful and has a kid now.
What?
Wow.
Okay, maybe not that later.
Barry is giving up fighting now in Parenthood, so Barry gives us our final weapon upgrade of the run. There are stronger weapons available, but they take too long to get for the damage they provide. So thank you very much, Barry. We're now gonna go fight our first Shadow Lord, and probably, in my opinion, the most difficult of the three Shadow Lords.
So much they already made a dating sim Metroidvania. It's called Hades.
Oh, that's true.
Reminder going into this very difficult boss fight that she is still on 5 HP in a game where by the end you can have up to 20.
Oh, jeez.
No pressure.
If you need us to can the bits while you're fighting this boss, please tell us.
So this is Lord Sirion, probably the most difficult of the Shadow Lords. We're just gonna dodge his first two attacks and shield the third, because it's easier. And then we should one cycle his first phase. Phase 2, he's gonna summon a Beyblade and shoot some boomeranging projectiles at us. I think this is the most difficult of the three phases. And then one more. Okay, that should be a one cycle on his second phase.
Very nice.
And then the
very
third
nice.
phase is a little less intense. He drops bombs on us instead of the boomerang projectiles, but they're very slow. One cycling this phase, however, is very inconsistent, so might have to repeat this phase.
For a second there, he was laughing the way I do at my own jokes.
This is just like if Beyblade was a Metroidvania. You're so right, Kanban Meow.
And also, don't be quiet, you're cooking.
I would hope so.
Cass-
We're in lava.
Cass, why did you say meat-type evolution in the chat?
It's Sirion, and he kind of looks like he's made of
Hey,
meat.
hey, can you focus on commentating instead?
You tell me he doesn't look like he's made of meat.
It's a lava enemy! We're in a lava area!
Okay, now he's made of lava.
No one ever taught you what molten rock is.
Oh no.
Oh.
Okay, it brings you right. Ooh.
Oh.
It's okay, we have a heal.
Hey.
Oh, there we go. Okay, okay.
Alright.
This guy's kind of rude.
Lord Siren was
Yes.
offended that called him a meat type.
I would
that's
be
not-
too.
Alright, that's the fight.
Nice.
Very
It
nice.
is like if Super Meat Boy 3D was a Metroidvania. Thank you, Char. Thank you.
Meat type evolution is sure a phrase I wasn't expecting tonight.
I did not need that image.
Welcome to Express Lane. Where the
We got any
intrusive
artists in the
thoughts
chat?
win.
We got any
no.
artists in the chat? I would love to see
Hey, we have to ignore Mint for this next piece of tech.
So normally you're supposed to go in this portal, and then you get another like 15 or 20 second long cutscene of a like a sigil of the Shadow Lord's face above the final boss's door. But if you just save and quit, you get to skip that cutscene.
Nice.
We love skipping cutscenes.
We do. Now we've defeated one of the 3 Shadow Lords. We still have some requirements to fill to fight the other 2. So we're going to go back to a little trip down memory lane. We're going to go to the starting area of the game, Firekeep. I love when games like take you back to the beginning areas and you have like all your extra equipment and everything.
Yeah, it always feels so cool. Also, a loading screen or two ago, you got a tip that said increase your HP by completing voids. Have you thought about doing that?
No, we don't
I
do
feel like
that
it would have
here.
made things easier.
Yeah.
Well, we don't need those.
Oh, she's been rocking it so
Okay,
far.
yay.
Trust you.
She's been
True.
rocking it.
I don't think I would describe it that way, personally.
Really, like, going back to these beginner areas with all of this new tech to explore in a new way, that's just like if a Metroidvania was a Metroidvania.
Factual.
You're so right.
Can't argue with that.
Somebody in chat says if you think about it, every evolution is meat type. That's not true. Vaporeon's fish type.
What about Leafeon?
Oh, salad.
Salad.
Today I learned.
This does mean that Sylveon's ribbons are technically meat.
Yeah, that's true.
I believe it was Frost 25 where it was JPEG, I think, who described them as flesh ribbons, prehensile flesh ribbons. So,
Just
Two people into chat about the same time saying this is a Metroidvania.
okay, that is the final Vessel of Souls. We have now satisfied the requirements for another Shadow Lord. So we're gonna once again save and quit, and then revisit an old area. What is fish if not water meat?
I mean, that's valid. We are getting philosophical in this.
It's surely not water salad.
True. It's just so much fun that the end of this run is stacked with 4 very difficult boss fights.
Hey, while we're here, can we go see Gra again?
No, I'm so sorry.
We're not in the scenic route. We're in the express
Yep.
lane. Sorry, Gra.
I think that would be a good, like, Gracentive, though, if you do this, like, in another marathon. I pretend every boss's health bar is Gra's health bar just to feel something. Thank you, that is the
Me
funniest
too.
chat message of the night.
Me too, Char.
Thank you so much, Char.
Fish is water type meat. Okay.
Okay.
Jotting all these ideas down for my new spin-off idea, Normalmon.
This is Lady Vera. That attack hurts. I was hoping not to get hit by it, but it's fine. We just have to dodge this attack. Wait for it to end. Unfortunately, I got hit. Okay, we still managed to one cycle her second phase.
Nice.
Or her first phase.
Very nice.
Excuse me. For this second phase, we're gonna get 3 free hits in before she does anything. Or 2. And then this phase is really easy. You just jump over the attack, and then she becomes vulnerable. And then that's the end of phase 2. Phase 3 is pretty hard. Dodging these icicles is very inconsistent.
They're scary looking.
Alright, now she's gonna repeat her attack from phase 2.
This is a really aerial game, huh? Especially at this stage.
Yes.
It's kind of like if Pilot Wings was a Metroidvania.
That's the second Shadow Lord.
That was a nice fight.
A little spooky, missing, getting hit and using up both my heals so early, but we still got through it. Once again, we're going to skip going to the portal so that we can skip the cutscene. And then we're gonna fulfill the requirements for the third Shadow Lord. 2 more buttons in the waterways. Luckily, they're both located very close to each other.
The discussion has turned into dark type meat.
I mean, that's literally a thing, like, for chicken. Like,
Yeah. I think it stems from Umbreon.
oh.
Charcoal.
Are mussels technically electric type meat? I guess so.
I think you're onto something, Char. One of the buttons is just right here. We technically could have gone here earlier, but we didn't have the item we needed to activate these buttons. These Gra puns are gonna follow me if I ever stream this game on my own stream. I have a
True.
feeling.
Yep.
I will haunt you, yeah. I will show up in your chat and say grow sound effect 2.
Her gross sense will be like, oh, I think she's running it. I must go.
Now we
The
have one
growl.
more timed puzzle to get to the final button. Gotta take out these little green guys so he doesn't sabotage us. This one looks scary, but it's mostly just about managing your movement resources.
Which you're a master of course.
I just run the game a whole bunch so I know what to do.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
You grun the game?
I grun the game. I'm a speed grunner.
I'm guessing the any percent unrestricted category doesn't feature grunt.
I don't
That would be a travesty.
think so.
Well, that's
That's why
what...
this is the superior category.
Exactly, that's why it's what we're running. Yeah.
Also, if you are in the Fatals Discord, I have nominated this game as Game of the Month, so if you're interested in learning this run, maybe vote for that tomorrow.
Fatals mentioned?
Fatals
Fatals
mentioned.
mentioned.
Shoutouts Fatals.
Oh no.
Big shout out to Thals.
Games Done Quick is now Games Done Quick.
True. Summer Games done gra.
Alright, who's this guy?
This is Samael, probably the easiest Shadow Lord. This phase we just get to run around in circles. Fun fact, if you perfectly parry that attack, I've heard there is a chance you can soft block your game.
What?
Luckily, I've never run into that because I don't go for the perfect parry. This phase, he attacks the entire platform all at once. If we're lucky, he won't attack ours at all. Okay, we're good. Now I just run around in circles again. And then we're gonna
I feel
jump
like I'd
off.
be good at this one.
Yes, this one is very easy. I didn't mention it, but the first phase I literally just damage tanked all of his attacks. It's just compared to the other two, he's really easy.
Are you intended to fight this one first, maybe?
You know, I'm not sure what the intended progression for these Shadow Lords would be.
Fair enough.
I mean, if you could fight them, if it's a Metroidvania, surely you can fight them in any order, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
We are going to take the portal this time because it takes us almost directly to the final boss fight. The final boss fight is pretty complex. There are 4 phases. I'm going to try and carefully manage my damage during phase 3 so that we can minimize how much damage we have to deal during phase 4. So it's actually ideal for us to 2-cycle phase 3. But yeah, we are coming up on the final boss fight now.
Of course, the final boss is totally a pushover, right?
Oh yeah,
Right?
Totally. We do have 2, just like every other boss, we have some long hallways leading up to her.
I'm gonna have to show this to my contractor to get this into my home.
The 4-way opening door.
And this nice hallway.
And you gotta get those braziers that light on fire as someone walks near them. That's aura.
Is your home the Blueprints mansion by chance?
No comment.
Okay.
Okay, this is the queen. First phase is pretty simple. She's just gonna place bombs at our current location, and we're just gonna place them alternating on the floor and above us so that we can avoid them. I did not mean to take damage there. That bubble, if you get hit by it, she does not become vulnerable, and you have to repeat the first phase.
This is a really pretty boss fight.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I really love harsh neon white.
Hey, that was a good
Shout-outs to
game.
Neon White.
Kind of like if that game was a Metroidvania.
Okay, this
I
is
don't think
phase
it's like
2.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Gonna shoot projectiles at us while we have to avoid these rings on the ground.
Those projectiles fly fast. Oh my god.
If we're lucky, we can 1-cycle this. But it's kind of RNG dependent. Oh yeah, there's also those. Nope. Okay, we did not get lucky.
It's because we didn't have Grua.
True. I miss Grua.
I miss Grua.
Grua is still in all of our hearts.
So true.
It's about the grows you made along the way.
Okay, this is phase 3. She's gonna make duplicates of herself. The real one has the wings that are gonna sprout on her back in just a second. There's also an audio cue that tells me which one is the real one. We got lucky. I did too much damage to her there, unfortunately, which sounds like a good thing, but... Okay, she should teleport again. And she chose the furthest possible position.
That's
Okay,
not what it did.
and time.
GG.
Sorry,
GG.
Thank you. Sorry, the time on that fight can be kind of random, just based on where she decides to teleport. And
Really great run.
but yeah, that was Blue Fire any %, no major glitches.
And Gigi's getting through your first streamed speedrun.
Does GG stand for Grugra?
Good
Guardian Grub.
Good grub. Good grub.
Guardian Gra. Or Good Gra.
Well, while we are watching that end cutscene, y'all give shout outs, love, tell everyone where they can find you, what you're playing, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I might start streaming this soon. You can find me at Lunasara pretty much anywhere. Shout outs to there are so many shout outs I want to give, but I'd be bound to forget some people. But shout outs to Fatals, shout outs to Lukey, Photo, Tech, anybody who's contributed to speedrunning resources for this game. I quite literally couldn't have done it without those resources. Shout outs to my commentators. Do you all have any shout outs?
Mint, you first.
Me first, okay. Well, first off, I wanted to shout you out. This run was incredible. You are the GOAT, which stands for Gra of all time. And second of all, I just wanted to say, depending on your time zone, Trans Day of Visibility is over, but it is not over that we need more visibility and support for trans people. If you're trans, please, keep yourself out here in the community. And if you are not trans, please, any support that you can give the trans community is well needed and very appreciated.
Hear, hear.
And for me, I've been Cass. I've never played a Metroidvania in my life, so thanks for letting me sneak in here. You can usually find me behind the scenes at Fatals or GDQ events. And shout out to my good friend Guardian Gra.
Shout outs to Guardian Gra. And just to add on to what Mint said, because today is Trans Day of Visibility. If you're trans, queer, or even an ally, and you can safely do so, please be visible. Be visible for those who can't, because it matters. It matters a lot. Times are scary right now, and you could be the reminder for someone that they're not alone, that they're loved, and that we can get through this together. But that's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching this run.
Thank you so much for being here. It was so much fun, and you have gotten so much love from everybody in chat, and so much love. Welcome back, gamers, to our final run of today's Metroidvania-themed episode of Express Lane, and we are ending strong and returning to us on the wonderful hotfix scene. We have Delphi running Supraland any percent glitchless. So hello, friend. How are you?
Howdy, I'm so excited to be here. Is it my turn? Are we doing it?
Heck yeah.
All right, okay, cool. This is Supraland. If you haven't seen this game before, it is a wild ride. It is a 3D Metroidvania. It takes place in a child's sandbox. I can do more intro as we get going. So it's funny, I made a whole point of mentioning that I always pick file 3. The last time I did this live, and I actually am using that to try to experiment for some incentive submissions for SGDQ. So now I'm doing file 5. So I hope that's not bad luck. But here we go. So the game time won't start until after the intro. It'll be when I get control. So I'll give a quick countdown before time starts.
That works.
All right. So this is, as I said, it's a 3D Metroidvania. It's made in Germany by a single developer, primarily named David Munich. Which is just incredible feat. I think it was released in final form in 2019. That child is creepy once you get a look at his face. Not a fan. Yeah, no, don't. It just freaks me out. And you're the Prince of Redville, or I'm the Prince of Redville, to be more precise. And I go on an adventure. So we are about to get started here, and time starts in now.
Good luck.
Thank you. So, I'm going to start on my journey. I have nothing. That's my parents, the king and queen of Redville, and we don't have water. So I'm going to go figure out why. So I'm going to grab a sword. It's not dangerous anymore if I have one of these. So there's a lot of fun little video game references and such throughout the game. Some of which are very recognizable and others which are a little more obscure. This game was not heavily speedrun. it was actually saw a resurgence in early 2025 when a group of German runners, who this time I will actually try to remember all of them, Kamuchin, Krusel, Hani, and Bluesvelt were the ones that are coming to mind. Last time I said Kamuchin and friends, and I felt bad because they've all been a great community in developing the run for the game, running, being supportive, showing up and running this all over Europe. Like it truly, they've done this at so many events. I know Kamuchin just was on recently, so.
Oh, nice.
So this is the plot. Very, very thick plot. Those blue guys over there, and they're hitting that, so now we don't have water. So I need to obviously do something about that. The story is mostly perfunctory. So this whole beginning section is a big loop of I gather coins, and then I pick up these. I solve light. I'll use the word puzzle lightly. Puzzles to get barrels, which allow me to then purchase the upgrades, which I feel like is rude. I feel like you should either solve the puzzle or get coins, but I feel like both is a little bit of a... Wow, okay. We're just getting a little jitters live here. Okay.
That's all good.
Let's try to make it up with this little cliff jump here. Yeah, okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's not... Even like the world record, which is no longer mine, doesn't do that. So someday, that'll be like the tiny bit of optimization that'll get me back on top. Okay. If I throw that really nicely, it'll go in the corner. And I do it that way, even though it is 9 times out of 10 doesn't work, because it looks really cool when I do it right. There are safer ways to do that. So, yeah, here we go. Sorry. I'm gonna... Oh yes, so that thing right there with the crystal, that crystal was yellow, and I painted it white. That's a super important puzzle mechanic that comes up throughout the run. And oops, and I gotta grab that's the double coins upgrade, which allows me to pick up the next items, because the next item I need to purchase is 36 coins. I hadn't mentioned it yet, because this game goes really, really fast. So I'm picking up coins. I'm trying to dodge enemies. They are rude. Enemy RNG is pretty substantial in this game in terms of impacting the run. And I've got this big purple cube that I've been using. And it looks like it's just for fun, or like it might go faster. And generally speaking, I'm not going faster if I just use it. But it does allow me to jump a little further, and it does allow me to get some vertical height, which is important. So that's intended. Like, you're supposed to use it for that. And so right now I'm just trying to gather coins to get the double jump upgrade. So we're gonna hop over here. This is still a this is still a Delphi. Oh no, I haven't messed that up. I've done that first try for the last while, so I was finally confident I was gonna call it out as like a Delphi special, and then I messed it up. So
that's marathon luck for you.
Yep. But yeah, no, that's a little time save that's only I'm doing. Which is funny because it's a few seconds.
Oh wow.
And here we go. These jumps up these cliffs look fairly trivial, but they're decidedly not. There's something about like when I hit jump in relation to hitting it, it's to get a little extra height, and it's very much by feel. Like when I was first learning it, I could not find a setup for it, and then I just did it a lot, and eventually just got a feel for it.
What just happened there?
Yeah, so that's this game's version of like of sort of shortcuts. There's like these telepaths. Didn't even register for me. So yeah, that just sends me back. It's a pretty efficient way to navigate the world. Funnily enough, it'll come up later that there is one of those that I held the world record for a while, and when I took it, the world record before mine did not use a telepath, one of those. Just like it was intended, it was meant to be used, and they just skipped it and ran around the hard way. So yeah, those are really useful, but they are. It's funny, that reaction was fantastic because it just doesn't feel weird to me. So climbing up here is not exactly intended, but I'd normally have to go all the way around. There's a lot of variation between runners in this opening section. I have the route that I find most comfortable. Coins are quite relevant. So, you'll know I'm going out of my way for a specific number of coins, and there's some variation. So, I just, have a route and I use it. I also try to avoid enemies. I mentioned there's enemy RNG. It is a runner preference, my preference. There's an upgrade I got a little bit back there called for the loot upgrade. So by default in this game, you take out enemies, they don't drop anything. So I pick up the loot upgrade. It's effectively free because I need to get coins that are near the chest. And it's a time loss mitigation. So like sometimes you just basically have to fight or you're going to take a death. And so I might as well at least get a coin out of it if I do. Oop. Wow, we're just going to pretend that didn't happen. And you might have noticed I was very slow there in recovery. That's because if I accidentally pick up that other upgrade that costs 5 coins, I then have to go out of my way and route in extra coins. So the worst thing I could do there is accidentally pick up the wrong upgrade. And I've done it. Usually that's a reset if I do that. But not in Marathon, so I'd find a way. This pipe is rude, and I'm going to take it real slow so I don't fall off. Okay. And then I'm going to climb up some cliffs. So I guess I should mention, I'll get ahead of myself. So this is Supraland, and this is the any % glitchless category. And what you're going to see, I mentioned that now because you might think, oh, this is a glitch, but it's not. Both for the purposes of this category, it's not, and also by design. There's a lot of this world, if I quickly look around, is quite... Oh, don't want to fall down there. The world's quite open, and this is an area that later on you're intended to be able to traverse. So the rules for for glitchless are you can't go out of bounds, but that would mean like truly out of bounds. So that skip right there saves like a lot of time, and otherwise you have to climb up this tower and all that nonsense. So we're about to, this is the end of the first segment of the game. This is where the demo would end, if you had the demo. When you pick up the red MacGuffin, which is this red gun. It's a blaster beam. It lets you, so this is the Metroidvania. So this is the one that lets you hit red switches. And you can use it as a weapon, which I do heavily. And later on, it lets you pick up coins, but we don't get that upgrade. So, that's it. So the game's split up into a few sections. So this is the red MacGuffin, and then next up is the blue MacGuffin, which we are going to work through in the next section. And before I get there, I need to get I need 40 coins to pick up the next upgrade, which will be to make this gun shoot faster. Ooh. And that thing will... Ooh. The German runners actually refer to that thing as Rolly. Whenever they comes up in a run, they just shout. They all spam Rolly in the chat. It is. Oh no! No, I'm not going to burn it because it probably has happened before. But that's not something that frequently happens. Okay, there we go.
There's.
Take up this. Ooh, dang it. Okay, so I picked up that berry on that cactus, but then I hit the cactus, so I gained 5 life and then lost 3. You win some, you lose some. This is puzzle solving. So we need to get to Blueville eventually. That's Blueville over there. We're not going to go there yet because we can't get there. But we're going to get this battery and turn this on. One of the really cool things about this game is how well the puzzles are telegraphed and not in a way that spoils them. So that button is purple, and my force cube is purple. And that's a little hint to give you some idea of sort of where you want to go so you don't get lost.
Oh, I love that. I love that feature.
Yeah. And there's also points where the puzzles are a little bit more tricky that they put a dude there that says like, you can do this, or like, no, you don't have what you need yet. But in this particular entry in the series, by and large, you get trapped in the area that you need to traverse. That was almost perfect. Okay. Let's grab this coin, or this key. I remember when I did this, the last run I did, I had people say, I didn't even know you could hit that off like that, because the intended strats are a little different. Whew. So I'm coming up on, I've got 35 coins, I need 40, so this is the moment where I check into myself. There's a few spots. There's one spot where I can get 4 coins for effectively free, which dictates if I'm low on coins, I do something different. If I'm high on coins, I can do something different. So this is an okay spot. I just got to kind of go out of my way for 1 coin. And this is what a section I think I like to refer to as the Holy Land. There is a meme down here, and this, for people who've seen this painting, That's
that's great.
That's Mr. Miracle. In the full, I'm going to go once again air quotes story. Like a lot of the NPCs talk about Mr. Miracle, and all the red ones think he's red, and all the blue guys think he's blue. And I won't spoil the ending. But this is it's not a glitch, because otherwise this wouldn't be glitchless. But I just sort of shoved that halo into the wall. So that guy wants to be holy, and in order to be holy, he needs a halo floating above his head. So I just sort of jam it there, so I can go do something, open up this, go run over and stick a red thing in the paint machine while he's opening the door for me.
I mean, I wouldn't think miracles are glitches, so you're fine.
Exactly, right? We believe. So over here we got Doc Brown from Back to the Future. I thought the Back to the Future references were dated, and then someone pointed out to me that Back to the Future movies were really, really big. So I guess it would just be the youngins in the audience who might not know about it.
If anyone hasn't seen it, do watch Back to the Future. Back to the Future 2 as well. That's a banger sequel.
So you just set me up and you didn't even know it. Okay, so
Perfect.
So I'm going to go. So there is, throughout time, and I don't exactly know why, the developer did tweak the references, tweak some of the NPCs in this game to remove some references. And one of the ones he removed, we're coming up to a spot where we're going to be in a room, and I'll point out the NPC, who is dressed specifically like young Marty McFly from 2015 from Back to the Future 2. He's got like the weird neon vest, the visor, everything. It is spot on. And I remember when I came back to this game years later, it was gone, and I was so confused. I was like, no. And then I went and looked at a Let's Play, from way back when, and I was 100% right. So don't know why he removed it, but it is that's a little bit more of a deep cut than Doc Brown, I suppose. That back there, I took a slightly inefficient route to jump on those rocks just to avoid getting hit. Those things, you don't really get a ton of iframes in this game, so you could just get busted to oblivion. Shout out to Wind Atomic, who optimized that by going right. I think that's the optimal strat. It's funny that none of the other people, there are two people. Oh no, I'm in prison. This is a good time so this red guy with this pirate hat, actually, spoilers, is a blue guy. And so he's trapping me in here, and this is actually where the game ends, so I'll call time soon, because, I can't get out, obviously.
I'm literally getting, do you remember the Team Fortress 2, meet the characters episodes?
Yes.
I'm 100% getting meet the spy episode right now.
That was the really good one, too. That one subverted a lot of expectations.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Here we go. So this is the character who was Marty McFly and is now just this generic character. So we're about to grab this upgrade. So I normally have... So that allows me to get this extra sort of beam that comes out. And if I shoot the ball that I shoot with that beam, it explodes. So normally my gun does 15 damage. That little tiny beam does 4. And the explosion does 100. It's splash. So that is our main weapon throughout the run, and that's the reason we actually went out of our way to get 40 coins, and got the that upgrade back there, the firing upgrade, so that we can shoot this and then shoot it if it's close to us, because otherwise there's too much delay and it's not an effective weapon. And unfortunately, as much as I like it to be, you can't dodge enemy. There's no being Neo in this game. You have to deal with enemies. I mean, hypothetically, if someone was tasking it, they could probably do it, but no real person's gonna find a way to dodge all the enemies in this game. They're just too brutal.
That's fair.
So just use the splash to great effect. Here. Okay, that was good. In my last hotfix run at the backup showcase, I actually was showcasing a strat that makes no sense, where I stole the red key card from the previous area and then brought it forward, and it took way more time than it saved. It's not a good speed strat, but it's my pet strat that I thought could maybe be good, and it's just not. And so I tried to showcase it, and then I lost the key card right at the end. Oh no. Okay, this is dicey, and a death here would not be pleasant. Okay, yeah, get that. Okay, cool. I don't remember where. I think I would spawn back before that wall back there, so that would have been an unfortunate death. There are probably better ways to manipulate that fight so that this ball doesn't just sort of go everywhere, but it's really tough to both stay alive and not get the ball, because it just flew out of the way when it got hit by my beam, so... this section coming up is another vertical section. That's the thing this game does really well. It gates you in various ways, and getting up somewhere is a good way to keep you from moving. So I have to get up this tower, and I'm going to need that. I'm going to pop this super ball. So this yellow ball is called a super ball. It can be used for a variety of things throughout the run, but one of the key things about the super ball is that there are these yellow force fields, and it'll if you bring one through there, it gets destroyed. So that was part of the puzzle here. The rest of this puzzle, not really going to explain, but this is what I like to say is the first puzzle section that when I came back to the game after having run it casually in 2019, and then to speedrun it, I played it casually again before I started speedrunning it, and this got me tripped up. I spent real time here. This is where the puzzles kind of got a little bit more challenging, which is a good thing. And there's nowhere to go. Like I said, they trap you. So, if I didn't like it, I really didn't have any choice but to solve it. Back before I was actually about to throw shade at myself. I was about to say, there's other runners who don't do these various things the way I do them, and I was then going to point out that both the runners I was going to refer to, Wind Atomic and Kamuchin, are the number 1 and 2 on the leaderboard, because I am now relegated number 3. So, despite the fact that I have all this tech that, in my runs, that definitely, I'm pretty sure, saves time, I'm also speaking from a place of not having gotten a cohesive run with all of the minutes, so I am, I can only throw so much, I'm only so good. They're still very, very much better than me, and I'm probably resigned to not getting that the world record back at any point, because Kamuchin
But you are still quite good at this.
Well, thank you.
Let's not discredit you.
Kamuchin is one of those people where it's I just incredibly looks effortless. I've watched his runs, and he just makes all these little micro mistakes, and then I look at the time, and I'm like, oh my goodness, just every single movement is just so much faster than me. And I don't know how he does it, because at this point in my run, my PB, I think I'm ahead by 20 seconds, and then he still beats me by a minute and a half.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so the second half of this run is, for a while I was doing pretty heavy resets when I was going for PBs, and that means that you don't get practice for the later part of the run. So I've kind of resolved, nowadays if I sit down to run, I'm trying to force myself to do complete runs. I think it's just good.
No, it makes sense, for sure, especially for the back half of a game.
Yeah. So where was I? I completely glossed over because I was just talking about random stuff. So I got the blue MacGuffin in there. That's the magnet belt. It allows me to climb up metal objects, which is one of those little thing about this game I love. It feels so organic. Okay, quiet time for just a sec. That archer can ruin my day. So this right here is that jump pad that they did not use in the previous world record. They fought a bunch of archers over there, and they took deaths because the archers one-shot you, and then ran all the way over here. You just take the telepad. That's the intended way to do it.
Jeez.
And so when they saw some of the runners, the other German runners saw that for the first time during my Hotfix run, and they were like, "What?"
How did I not know?
It's funny how you can get tunnel vision and miss those kinds of things. We're back home. Those classic Metroid shortcuts. We are just using this as a little bit of a path to get back to where we need to go. So we're headed towards the purple MacGuffin, which will be the force beam. When I think about this game in terms of splits, I think this is the longest split in the game. This area has gotten me twice with these jumps. So now that we have the metal, we can climb up metal objects. We have a lot of possibilities available to us, and that'll be jumping up here. Coming up is a boss fight. Coming up would be a boss fight if I was going to do it, which I'm not. It is a thing that actually I haven't submitted yet, but I might go. You can submit GDQ incentives after the submissions close, and last time I submitted it to take this boss fight, which is like a little bit interesting, but it's actually quite. I think the appeal comes from you're so underpowered in this. Like quiet, or we're about to do the boss fight. 2. Okay. So if I fall there, my options are go to main menu, or take the boss fight. So both are slow. Main menu's still faster, but yeah, Rattle Hag is it's a boss. It's one of I think it's the only real combat boss fight in this game off the top of my head. There's like this really cool gauntlet at the end of the game, like post game. It's intended to do it. I'm also looking to submit that as an incentive because it's really tough to do. But I've yet to be able to consistently do it as underleveled as I have tried to make myself do it. So we'll see how that works. But we're just gonna go ahead and solve some puzzles right here. We got a metal ball. The spherical object. This isn't considered a glitch? What isn't? Sorry, am I behind in chat? I just saw someone say this isn't a boss skip. Oh no, it's not. That's a good question. You're able to navigate there. It's not out of bounds. It's just, you're just not going past the trigger. But no, that's a good question. There's a lot of some of the community when I ran this, when I was describing how it was glitchless, they were like, "Okay, sure, glitchless," like with air quotes. But okay, so
I love how so finish your thought, please.
No, go ahead.
To say, yeah, there's so many games out there that have glitches categories that like you use tech that's not necessarily a glitch. You're like, how is that not a glitch? Because it's not.
I mean, at this point, for example, the Halo thing where I stuck the Halo in the wall, someone pointed out, like, isn't that a glitch? And I was like, okay, technically, you might be right, but they've already accepted it into runs on the leaderboard, so I don't think they're gonna, like, for the community, I don't think they're gonna take it back. So this part right here, this is also not a glitch, what I'm about to do, but I should probably start explaining this. So this puzzle section is a whole thing. It's really tricky to get the movement nice here, especially when I do stuff like that. Okay. And you might not have noticed because I was talking about something completely different and you don't know what this game's supposed to do. There's a ball, that spherical object, that metal orb, if you will. I wasn't supposed to bring that here. Now, it's not a glitch, right? Like, you can bring it. There's nothing stopping you. You can respawn it. There's absolutely nothing. But we're going to use that ball. It's going to be very important in this whole... I'm going to spend some time explaining this. So this puzzle right here, we're supposed to solve with... if I do it right... Oh, yeah. Once again, this is like one of my weakest sections, especially when I'm talking. So this, you solve this puzzle with this, and you're supposed to not have that ball down there. So I'll just say that one more time. And then you're supposed to use the objects you get in the anvil, to get over... It's not a glitch, it's a feature. Okay, so let me get this. So I'm going to have to hit this, once again, that big purple button. Boom. So I'm going to grab this battery, intended. I'm going to grab this anvil, intended. And I'm going to grab the orb, intended. And sorry, not intended. And I'm going to get over this wall with this anvil, which is not what they intend for you to do, but it's also, once again, I would not in any stretch of the imagination call this a glitch. So I'm going to try to do this as smoothly as I can. Come on. Be nice. Go. The only way this run breaks, and I do not know what I would do, is if I managed to get over if I dropped the anvil and didn't make it over, I didn't have it over here. At that point, I don't know what I'd do, but I've not done that in a real run ever. So,
but success.
So we got that over. So now, we have an anvil that we're not supposed to have in this section, and this whole section is about conducting electricity. I went and spawned that super ball for later, just for fun. So this section here, you're supposed to conduct electricity, and they give you several anvils. But sugar. That's never happened before.
There's the thing.
I just jumped right off of it. So you're supposed to have some anvils here, but you're one shy. And what they give you is a sponge that you're supposed to go get wet and then use that to conduct electricity. And that even if I wasn't about to use that sponge for shenanigans up ahead, it's just slow to get the sponge and wet it because you have to go really far to go get the water, and it is just a whole thing. Wow. Okay. Really messed that up. That's okay. Boom, boom, boom. I think we're okay. Cool. Electricity is flowing. Take this opportunity to go over here and grab the sponge. So here's our fun sponge, and this is going to be our friend. It's going to let us do a massive skip. So the next few minutes of this run are really cool. So we have 2 major skips coming up. One of which will be at the top of this next tower. And so notably, this I'm not supposed to take the sponge. This is huge. So I'm going to grab the next MacGuffin. This is the purple MacGuffin, is the Force Beam. And the Force Beam allows you... It's a grapple beam, basically. And at this point in the game, you can grapple to wooden objects. So you can grapple, you can connect 2 wooden objects together, and notably you can climb on the... You can climb on there at pretty steep angles. They tell you you can do it at steep angles. It's like a very interesting thing they like make a point of in the tutorials over here that we're going to ignore. But we have the sponge, and one of the cool things about... Okay. Like I was saying, one of the cool things about that sponge is that you can connect the Force Beam to it. For some reason. Only when it's dry. It has completely different physics when it's dry and wet. So when it's dry, you can throw it reasonably far, and you can connect the Force Beam to it. And that is going to allow us to escape, kind of break out in the next section. Let me not mess this up. I messed this up when I did the last hotfix. Okay, cool. So we will basically... So the next section coming up that we aren't going to see, so I won't spend too much time talking about it, is called Carrot Town. It's slow. It's got an not strictly required upgrade. Like you only need it in like one spot later in the game, and we don't... I'm sorry, excuse me? There we go. And we don't really need it. So skipping Carrot Town saves a ton of time. So what I'm going to do is find the exact spot and do this in one try, obviously. Let me find the right spot on the ground. Kind of the setup here. Okay. This is the kind of thing, so this went off the rails during my last hotfix run, so we're just going to do it first try. Why would I say that out loud? Okay, so what just happened there is that I threw it too far. I was about to explain the only thing I could really do wrong is to throw it too far. So this is going to cost me a little bit of time. So I have to retrieve that, basically. And I have, as you can see, it's not the quickest and funnest thing, but it is recoverable. Oh my god. Okay. So I was going to say, actually, let me focus because this can take a few tries to... Whew. Okay. There we go. We're good. So don't overthrow. I'm going to do that. So I'll consider that success if I don't overthrow it this next time. There is no consistent setup for this. You don't want to throw it at the apex of your jump because that will be too far, but the angle and everything else, it's where you position yourself. There isn't I have not found a very consistent setup. All I found is you stand in this spot and it gives you some good options. So normally, genuinely during most of my runs I do this first try. I only beef it during live marathon runs, apparently. That's
marathon luck for you.
Yep, and that's okay. That gives me time to... I think we can make that work. I think that's good enough. Okay, one more. I think we're good here. Okay, so we can connect. Can we get... Okay, cool. So that is Carrot Town skip. That is gigantic. Saves a huge... even with all that, even messing that up as much as I did, that still saves a absolutely crazy amount of time. And now we're out. So I need to make sure I don't die before I get to the next checkpoint. But other than that, we're good. And that's one of those parts where I intend, if I ever get this into a mainline GDQ, that's going to be a donate per attempt. And donate per attempt, donate for first try, and also if I manage to overthrow it, that'll have to be its own separate fun penalty. So yeah, so now you notice I went and got the sponge again. Sponge Friend is not. We're not done with Sponge Friend. We have one more good fun use for Sponge Friend, and that will be to skip Blueville, which is if you look at the top right of my screen, it says go to the King of Blueville. Well, that's not going to happen. Look at them. There's just enemies just chilling in there. Jeez Louise. Thirsty. So we're going to skip Blueville. I've also done a bunch of... actually, when I was practicing in the practice room at AGDQ, I was trying out all sorts of ways to try to use the sponge for another set of skips, such that I got a key from an earlier part of the game to bring it to later, and it turns out I learned the hard way. Keys are not interchangeable. So an early key in the game, I couldn't use it to open a door later. But if I could potentially skip a little bit more of the run. Oh no, that's okay. So this section right here is a little scary. This is the only spot I keep a backup save for. Can we not? Can we just this? Today is not a good day for sponges. Okay. There we go. So here I'm going to be quiet for just a moment. This is one of the few things I can do that would actually be a real problem. Okay, we're good. So there's a cutscene trigger there that if you normally when you're trying to jump far, you're jumping. Sorry, you jump as far as you can. You jump as late in your jump as you can. If you do that here, you will hit the trigger if you go too low. So it's really important you do that jump properly. And if you hit that trigger, there's no back to main menu to fix it. It sets some sort of trigger in the game that oh well. So I do have a backup save for that, just in case. So that sponge is going to help us get out of here. And so this is a whole section. I love these sections of games where they steal. So if I hit that trigger, they steal all your items pretty much. And then you have to go get coins in this area and buy them back. I love that idea, but it is extraordinarily slow. So the first thing we just got there is is an upgrade that you just get. I'm gonna do this for safety here because so when you're doing that, we do go over there for a reason because they give you you can buy another upgrade. Hold on, are there any of these archers? No. Okay. I'm only worried about arch. Okay. Can we not? Thanks. Okay. Oh goodness gracious me.
Well, we just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, they just kind of jump at you. Okay, can we not they're just trying to have you know what it is? All these I have to break all the skeletons are trans, and it's the day of visibility, and they want to be visible today. So that's what it is. They're just participating, and I feel bad for trying to exclude them from their day. So, good. That must be what it is. They just want to take part in the day of visibility, and you know what? I support them. So here we go up here. So the upgrade we just bought was the thing where we fall off and do nothing. The thing we just bought was the gold upgrade, so this can now connect to these gold blocks, and that lets us get to this next section, this lava section, where I'm very possible to die. I'm gonna try not to, but oh no. Okay, so I could fall into the lava, and the reason I'm cutting it so close to the lava is because these things that are spawning can absolutely snipe me. Okay, so they're done. We're done with them. We're not scared anymore.
Nice.
So we now have to. There's a guy here who wants gold, and we are going to give him. I'm not going to take my hands off the keyboard, but we're going to give him air quotes gold. Shout out to Wind Atomic, and shout out to me and my last speedrun for falling in the lava not once but twice.
Oh, no.
So yeah, we're gonna give him this gold, and he's gonna let us have his special treasure. We're gonna play a little soccer here. The reason I actually stopped and did that a little slowly, I was trying to assess which one was bigger, because if you hit the big one with the small one, it's controllable. If you hit the small one with the big one, it will fly out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, he's so happy as he picks his wedgie. So he lets me do a special area, and I can then buy this. And now we have the force beam. I can connect my force beam to my force cube, which is the final upgrade on this that we get. Here. And I just had like my brain just went empty for a moment. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna go up here. And all this is moving towards the green MacGuffin. You can see the big green crystal out in the distance. The game does really good signposting. You know where you're trying to go to. And here is a spot where I have to be very careful because there's a bunch of skeletons and they could ruin my day. Oh my. Okay. Really, it's just the archers. The lack of any health upgrades and the lack of the armor upgrade. Again with this.
What?
Yeah, they just like fly at you. It's ridiculous.
Sir.
So the lack of any upgrades means that like the archers just one shot you no matter what. So, it just kind of is unfortunate. So we're gonna come down here and solve these puzzles, and these there's gonna be some more lava monsters that we could skip if we were bold and stupid, but we're not gonna do that. Oh no! Yeah, these rollies are extremely rude. Oh, I lost it. I don't know. He's hiding in the bushes. Oh no, there he is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a consistent number of them that spawn. Also, so I can't just count. Okay, I think we're good. Like anywhere between 2 and 4. So in here, so this gentleman over here, it was informing me that someone gave him fake gold, and I don't know who would do that. He wanted me to throw away all the fake gold. So they're always in the same position, which is how I did it so quickly. But the sort of fun little puzzle element there is that your force beam can connect to the gold, and it doesn't connect to rocks, which are the other things. So that's you can that's how you're supposed to figure that out. And now we get fireflies. These fireflies are purple because why not? And this is actually where I got in trouble during my last Hotfix run by dissing on carrots. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be carrot neutral today because I don't want to have a revolt in the chat. I did, to be fair, and I would amend my previous. I did say on stream that I thought carrots are gross, and what I do agree with is that was a strong statement. I don't think they're gross. I just don't care for them that much.
Yeah, I was about to say that's an interesting revolt to have.
I was surprised, but I listened to the people. So fireflies notably eat carrots. That is what they introduced you in this section. And that is going to be important. All of this game does a really good job layering up. So there is a boss fight kind of at the end of the game, and it's just one big giant puzzle. And it incorporates quite a few things from the paint to the fireflies, etc. The fireflies are particularly important. And I'm going to not fully explain the boss fight in case anyone goes to play this. But I will note there that they have a role later on, and it's amusing to me. This is a little time optimization, if I could do it right, where there's a wall over there that you're supposed to burn down, and there we go. There's a puzzle in there you're supposed to do, but I just don't do it. This guy also said when he walks through this, he says that tickles. Fun fact, if you stop the electricity, he says that anyway. So, okay, this is the final upgrade in the run, the translocator. Ooh. It lets you teleport. It shoots a little orb, and then you teleport to that orb. So, I know it's actually when I did the last live run, I had some comments in the chat about the translocator. People were like, they found me. So, good, all good fun. I might die here because of this stupid thing. So sometimes it rolls back into the lava, and then when I teleport to it, it just, I'm in the lava. I didn't. Okay, cool. Oh, but I almost ran the wrong way. So I need a quiet moment for just a sec, because I have to do this one cycle or I will get caught up with all these enemies. I'm also going to do this, just to sort of reset my spawn point, hopefully. That is dangerous right there. If those enemies spawn, there's no getting around them. You have to fight them. And I also reset my spawn point here because there's archers in here. And if I die, I want to respawn in here rather than out there. Ooh. Okay, good. So this puzzle actually is really interesting. I'm not clear how intended this solution is to it. The debate's still out, but we are going to. There's an intended solution that I genuinely don't remember what it is. But we're going to pick up these fireflies, and we're going to run them through that burning thing, and you're going to notice those fireflies turn red. And that allows me to burn down this wall. You are supposed to turn the fireflies red to burn down that wall, but that's not how you're supposed to do it. That's because it's a very like quick moment that you could do it, and once it's over, it's over. So all what we've been doing for the last couple minutes, as I've been yammering on, is getting upgrades for the translocator. So the first one was the cooldown, so we could shoot it more frequently, and the second one was the force, the distance, so we could shoot it. And those both allow us to do something that it's hard for me to say whether or not this is intended, because the height of this and how this all works, and the fact that you can do this at all, the developer put so much effort into this game that it's hard for me to imagine that this was not intended. So here we go. We just jumped up on this. This is not where we're supposed to go. We're coming up on the boss. We're just gonna climb over the world here real quick. So basically, when you shoot that up, if you time it right, you teleport to it, and then before you fall, you shoot it again, and you gain a little bit of height every time. So with 3 shots, you can get up there. And here we go. We're coming up on the boss fight. This is the farting meat bag, which is actually the real name. You'll see why in a moment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Actually, you know what? I forgot we do have meat memes in this game. How remiss was I? Meat. We got meat. All right. Okay. I can be part of the event now. So yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to over-explain this puzzle, but it is really, really well done. And this was another thing that when I came back to this game casually, it took me like a while to figure. Excuse me. Thank you. A while to remember how to do this. So, and sorry, when I say remember, I didn't remember how to do it. I had to solve it again. So we're gonna solve this. We are a couple minutes out, maybe, from time. I will call that when the time comes. Come on. Oh darn. Oh no. Okay. He can end me. I'm at 17 health, especially. Yeah, he can definitely like one-shot me. So if I die, it's not the end of the world, but it's not ideal. Excuse me. There we go. I can do a little extra boost out of there, which I did not know you could do until I watched Kamuchin do that. All right, and the farting is actually relevant. I'm green now. Just gonna point that out. So that's not just for fun and memes. It's actually like a real thing. Okay. So I'm gonna end this guy, and then as soon as I do, I'm gonna it's gonna go fade to black, and I'll call time when it fades to black. So you'll notice that guy's orange now. And like, you know, if you were a firefly and you were hungry, how would you get a meal? Well, you probably go after the first orange thing that you saw. So time's coming up as soon as it goes to black. So probably like 3, 2, 1, go.
GG.
Oh man, how did we do? What was the time on that one?
About 43. 43:39.
That's not bad. Like, considering that was respectable. That was better than my last one. That was a respectable time. That's not like, that's still a solid time on the leaderboard. So here we get all the like lore afterwards, like all the reds and blues are related, yada yada yada. It's a lot of fun, and then we get to meet Mr. Miracle, which we don't actually meet. You do meet in the casual run, but not here. I will take a moment, I guess, to breathe. Here's
Yes.
And I guess I'll do a couple shout outs, and then we'll cut to the credits, which are the #1 credits song of all time. I mean, there's no debate, really. Which I'm also working on a potential donation incentive to karaoke it. But it's completely in German. So like I can kind of sing it the way one can sing a song they know the words to, but just by sounds. And I am insistent, if I'm going to sing a German song live to anybody, I will not butcher the German. So I don't speak German, so that's gonna be a fun challenge. But so shout outs to my partner, who might be asleep right now, as I'm really, really loud. She watched me last time, but it is late, and she has work in the morning. Shout outs to the German speedrunning community of this game. So I mentioned earlier Kamuchin, Crucial, Hani, and Bluesvelt, all a great team in like developing this run and bouncing ideas off each other. They were also really, really welcoming of me coming in here and just like doing this, and like I felt the love and I really appreciate them. Shout out. So Kamuchin right now is the world record holder by a good margin. Wind Atomic is number 2, and I'm sitting at number 3. I'd like to get back to number 2 at some point, but I don't think I'm going to get back in. Shout outs to Hotfix. Thank you to Asuka, is it?
Close enough. Asuka. I can't do it, but I'm gonna do it. Asuka, thank you so much for having me on your show. Thanks to Richard, to Augendrocker. I really appreciate all the love. I really appreciate getting to do this a second time. This is amazing. What you guys do is amazing, and it's just always fun to run for people. It was so much fun having you on. You did so well. So, jeez. Any other shout outs or like let people know where they can find you?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I don't do this very often. So I don't have a good spiel. But yes, so when I run this game, I typically stream it on YouTube. It's sporadic. It's like I'll run it. It's youtube.com/dfago. I'm not really anonymous behind it's just my name. And I thought about streaming on Twitch. So I've done that once. I don't do it often, but I might start again. I run it occasionally. I really am looking forward to running the sequels to this game. And shout outs to the devs of Super World, which is currently in development. In their Discord, I've had someone reach out to me. I built the auto splitter for this game, for live split, and they reached out to me and were like, hey, what can we do to make that easier to develop for this new game we're doing? So I love a developer who like reaches out to the community and like engages. Dfago, youtube.com/dfago. Thanks, Richard. I appreciate it. Okay, that's it. I'll stop talking. Thank you to everybody. I feel so disoriented. That's because I am, and I'm sweaty, despite the window being open. It's like really hot in here.
No worries. But yes, GG's again, and everybody continue to give GG's to Delphi for that awesome run of Supraland. But with that, we are officially coming to the end of our Metroidvania-themed episode of Express Lane. If you missed out on either this or Hidden Heroes for it, do not worry, because we're just going to replay both shows right after this. So thank you again for tuning in, and tune in tomorrow starting at 7 p.m. Eastern for Crosshair, followed by Speedruns from the Crypt, and you should tune in because there might be a birthday gentleman on one of those shows that might be Crosshair. But until then, I'm Oscar424.